Hello, ladies and gentlemen. As with you always, this is Max doing another live video today on XRP. So I'm going to start things off by welcoming a few of our people from the CTN family who are part of this great world. We're going to start things off with the one, the only, Mr. Tim Shea, who says, hey, thank you so much for being here, Tim. You know what? I think it's cool that you actually got to see the Quant video before it had to get taken down. One of few people apparently who got to watch the whole thing before the plug was pulled from the socket. Thank you for being here, Tim Shea, Mayor Crypto Commissioner. Is that how we say it? Like, what's his name? Le Grand Commission? Anyway, glad to have you here, man. Hopefully you're having a great Friday. Congratulations to each and every one of you guys who made it this far into your work week. And I'm officially done, at least for now, for my obligations. And hopefully something new will start next week. So we'll see what happens with that. But if not, that's okay too. Please smash that like if you haven't done so already. It helps get the broadcast out to a broader base. And we'll turn on a few banners here. And on top of that, we'll welcome the next person who is here. Quite a few people. Brian Dowie says, sup, Max? Glad the mud butt has gone away. Well, little, TMI information, right? There was no mud butt. It was straight up, that one movie, what's it called? Stand By Me. You know, that one guy who had the barfarama? A little bit of that, man. A little bit of that. It was pretty bad. I was sick all night long and had to go in with no sleep. And I said I have to because it's the last day. So I did. Stayed up also doing the Quant video just to get rugged by GV and Andrew Carrier and so on. But it's all right. One of those things. I got to understand it's for the greater good. All right. You guys talking about Rayan. I knew you were going to mention Rayan immediately after somebody mentions Mudbutt. So, hey, Brian Dowie, it really got to Rayan that Mudbutt. Yes, did. So much so that we won't see him again until 2024, remember? All right, I want to welcome the one and only Stardog, our brother, our mate from across the pond. Thanks for being here, Stardog. Glad to see you back. This will not be WrestleMania, my friend, but we'll see. Brittany said, I made Max sick. How did you make me sick? I'll tell you what made me sick. It was a pancake. One pancake, and it wasn't even that big of a pancake. It was just one pancake, and for whatever reason, I don't know. Like, I can't really have a Hershey's peanut butter cup anymore. I love those, but I had one earlier in the day, and I said to myself, last time I had one of these things, it made me sick. And I guess, I don't know, it's just a pancake because I was fine earlier. Then after I ate the pancake before the show, oh God, like I just wanted to, barfarama. Sorry. All right, enough about that. TMI, right? All right, let's go further down. Stardog's in the house. He says, Caspa, let's effing go. Buy the Caspa, the clam chowder Caspa, the New England clam chowder version of Casper. All right, dip. Let's effing go. Okay, I know it's on my short list, so we'll see. I just already loaded up so much on other things, but we'll see about making it happen, right? All right, so guys are saying hello, welcome each other. What's this? My first bag, I got the free Caspa this morning from GF Burke's link. Figure the time was right to hop in. Ooh, I'll have to check out that link then. That sounds cool. Free crypto, I'm down for that. April Cornwell, welcome. You're not saying it, I'll say it for you. Hey. Hello, everyone with the flowers. How you doing, April? Hopefully you're having a good evening in your neck of the woods out in Oklahoma, which is 8:04 p.m. Thank you so much, Max, for not having us, delaying the show for 15 minutes. And then on top of that, having us watch an intro and then not start until technically about like 25 after, right? Hey, no problem. We're getting right to it. So glad to have you here, Mrs. Michael April Cornwell. All right. Hopefully Mr. Muff is doing well. All right. Brittany's in the house, looking sharp as usual. Thank you for being here, Brittany, and keeping it classy. Yes. Hey, you know what? I saw Mr. Classy Crypto's back. He's been doing videos again. First time in a month. So see what goes on with that. Stardog says, where do you keep your Caspa time? I might get a tangent, but you don't get a seed phrase, just a card with backup cards. Can't work out if that's a good thing or bad thing. Well, I don't have Caspa yet, but I guess these are new problems I'm gonna have to run into in the future. All right, glad everybody's here to welcome each other and so on. Let's welcome back Mike. He says, interesting times they are. We're going to point out some of the interesting things. Thank you for being here, Mr. Mike. And on top of that, Brian has an update in regards to Rand. Maybe. Let's see. Rand was never the same after that mud butt incident. No, he wasn't. You know, you got to keep in mind, if you've seen Game of Thrones, right? So there was like Cersei Lannister. She's going down, you know, into the town, and she's being shamed, you know, and like with the bell, shame here. But in reality, with Ryan, he experienced his own version of shame via Mudbutt, you know, and it's just like, how do you come back from the Mudbutt special? Now, he tried to, but he experienced so much shame that he decided to use QNT as a scapegoat for, or a pause to come back in 2024. But knowing Brian Dowie, which of course I never met you in person, but based off of, you know, your degen type of person you are, no offense, I'm sure the moment Rain comes back, Brian Dowie will probably say, hey, how the hell are you, Mr. Raven? How's that mud butt of yours? Like immediately. And then from there, Rain will say, all right, guys, I won't see you guys until the next 4-year cycle. And then we'll say there won't be no 4-year cycle at that point, my friend. And then he was just magically disappear. He'll be like Bertram from The Sandlot, right? He got really into the 60s. And no one ever saw him again. He got really into Mudbutt, and no one ever saw him again. All right, moving along. Brittany's saying, welcome back to me. Thank you very much. Enough about all this Mudbutt talk. It's an inside thing for all you newcomers. You're like, what in the world is this? This has nothing to do with crypto. I agree. But just know this. If you see a guy named Ryan, that's where it comes from. Sobo, welcome back. Glad to have you here on a Friday. Shout out to you, Sobo. I never got verification from you. Do you really have a couple weeks off, or you have to go back, or anyway? Glad to have you here, though, Sobo. I did check out your DM on CTN Network from the other day. I have to catch up on some of the other DMs too. Anyway, hopefully people are enjoying their first 2 or 3 days of summer. Were you aware of that? Stardog, I'm just using Mexi for now. Going to read a couple more comments, so we'll kick it into the news. Crypto Holmes, 777, welcome back. And is there anybody else? Let's see. Is there anybody else? P stands for Pepe. Hey, Pepe Le Pew. Sobo says, hadn't they said, as in Gilbert, that Quant would have a big announcement and a summer? Is this it? All right. Well, you know what? Hold on. Let me see about welcome just a couple more people, Sobo, and we'll jump into what happened, and I'll vent a little bit in regards to the things that happened to me last night. So we're gonna get to all of it. But I want to welcome a few more people. All right, Juan Rogel, if I'm pronouncing that right. You're my hero. No one else does more content of JASMY than you. Well, thank you. I was thinking for a second, because you didn't have the custom avatar. I was thinking it was like the guy from yesterday. It was just like, you're my hero. Are you gay? And I was like, what the heck is this? You know, like Biggie Smalls back in the day. Who the heck is this? Paging me at 5:46 in the morning, the crack of dawn, and now I'm yawning. Wipe the cold out my eye. Who is this in the comments saying these things about me and why? It's freaking Brian Dowie at the barbershop. Never mind. I'm not gonna get into the rhymes. All right, let's go further down. We got Mr. Coochie Boy in the house. Welcome back. And we're going to get right into the show here in a second. was a joke, Max. Yesterday, I blamed him for your sickness. I was poisoned, basically. Okay, absolutely poisoned. All right. So I just want to state this, and Sobo probably can vouch for this. All right. So basically, you have a student, and they're nice. They want to give you something nice. Oh, Mr. Stanley, I want you to have my what do they call it? Breakfast on a stick. Well, there's a reason why it's called breakfast on a stick for a reason. It's supposed to be consumed during breakfast time, right? You do not consume that and let it sit, I guess you could say, in my little lunch bag for a while. Bring it home thinking, well, it's that type of food. It's probably got some preservatives in it. It's still good. I need a quick snack before the show. So heat that sucker up, right? It's been a complete, it was never open. It was still good. And I was like, I like breakfast on a stick. I don't know, Sobo, where you teach, you guys have breakfast on a stick. It's good stuff. For you guys that don't know what breakfast on a stick is, it's something that they serve here, especially the school district. Anyway, but basically, it looks like a corn dog. All right, it's a piece of sausage wrapped in a pancake, and they put a little syrup on it. Right. Well, apparently, I don't know, from sitting in my bag for a while, right? And by the time I got home, maybe it should have been refrigerated a little bit more. I don't know. It was one of those things I kind of took a chance on. Never again. I was so sick last night. Oh my gosh. So anyway, long story short, before we get into the news, I have this for you guys. So I'm going to share this. Please smash that like. And basically what it is I had what I like to refer to as some alpha, right? Some people say, Max, bring the alpha. I did. I was so proud about this video. So proud about the video. And guess what? I had to have it rugged. So I understand that, I guess Gilbert Verdian, was it our Andrew Carriar reached out to like Quant Papa, the original guy who I saw with the breaking news, and I thought I would elaborate more about it, was from Greg Lunt. And then later on, after the video was done, I went and saw Greg Lunt's posting, and it was no longer there. And I was like, oh no, well, I wonder if he violated NDA, whatever. Anyway, this was the original thing. I won't elaborate on it too much because let's face it, I can't really do that. But I'll just give you the quick gist. So this was released this morning. So proud about the video. I was like, obviously there was other, Q&T content creators on crypto Twitter who released the info, right? But I didn't see anything on YouTube. So I was like, oh wow, I'm gonna be probably the first to put on YouTube. That'd be cool. Take that, Mr. Rich of Common Sense Crypto. Although I like Rich, right? And yeah, it was up for like an hour. Got a message from Quant Papa. He showed me the screenshot from Gilbert Verdian about how they're contacting literally everyone to take down the full video that shows some detailed information, which I can't get into. There's a few people who already saw it, right? Like Tim Shea, I think you saw the whole thing and so on. If you saw it, you saw it. But for the most part, it's disappointing because I did put a lot of time and energy into that while I was sick. So like the thumbnail shows, and I'll blow this up a little bit. Massive news, the birth of institutional adoption, overledger to go public. And it is what it is. I mean, I hope that I can relist this at some point. I saw another guy leak out a little bit of the video, like Quant Papa basically mentioned. The whole video wasn't, as far as like what you call it, the trailer wasn't released yet. So once it's greenlit, I'll release it because, it is energy that I put into it and so on. But I'll state this, when it is relisted, you want to take a look into it if you haven't seen it. It is massive news. A lot of things that we thought were speculative, or some people thought were speculative in the past, not necessarily me because I've been connecting the dots for a while. They have been confirmed, right? So it's really big stuff. There's some other things that Quant Pop has shared with me and so on. I'm not gonna get into all of it, but I will just state this. I mean, like something to do with DApps. Yeah, some pretty big stuff in that regard, but I can't really go on to mention a little bit more. That's it. I'm not going to say anything else, but made a really nice intro, show that video, elaborate a little bit more about it. I gave an example of IBM in the past. This is my own like extra stuff. So this is not anything that's going to violate an NDA. But literally it was just dots connected from beginning to end. I was so proud of it. And then that happened. But the way I look at it is, I understand, my thing is this. If there's, Gilbert Verdian, not Mark Hargreaves, Andrew Carrier, and some of those guys, they're going around telling people, hey, we got to remove it. There's a specific reason for that. And so the way I look at it is, it's bullish, right? Bullish is all hell on the whole thing. And we're going to get into a little bit of Quant in a bit, right? So we're going to start some headlines, okay, first, and then we'll get into that Quant segment. So stick around for that. But that's just my little minor gripe, okay? So I'm done griping about it. Let's see how we're doing the likes real quick. We're at 16 likes, and we have over 30 people watching. So please smash the like. It's free. It doesn't cost you anything. I'm not going to sit around and be like, oh, drop super chats. I mean, people do that. Great. But it's not something anybody has to feel obligated to do, right? But I will state this. I will put emphasis on the likes because it does truly help to get the broadcast out to a broader base. All right. So we're going to get into the news headlines of the day. And if you guys have been paying attention to the market, what is the top performer of the day, not only on the top 100, but probably for your watch list, right? Let's jump into that. Here we go. So let's start things off from Coin Market Cap. And no, I'm not going to read the top 100 or anything like that. But, we did see the overall market go to 1.20 trillion, right? And some people feel as though, hey, man, accumulation phase is over. Time to start the bull run. There's still a little bit of that accumulation going on and so on, right? So let's jump into this for a brief moment. And, yes, you see that some of these ones like Pepe and Bitcoin, BTC and Shiba Inu are trending. You know what? That takes the heat off of the likes of the institutional stuff, right? QNT and so on. So I'm going to pull some things up, and we're going to recognize, of course, BTC for a brief moment. It's back up into the 30,000, 557 area. I saw higher than that. So it's doing really well, right? So this is the 24-hour chart. But for, the top performers, it's not really just BTC. Check this out. Yeah, Bitcoin Cash, BCH, and the one that we talk about quite a bit. Shout out to Cool Cat Crypto, Bitcoin SV. I was absolutely ecstatic when I saw BSV up over like 30% earlier today, 35, 36% for the week. I am not complaining, especially when I feel as though I bought the bottom on that a few Fridays ago. So was it 4? Is it 3 Fridays ago now or 4? I can't remember. It's either 3 Fridays ago or 4 Fridays ago now when it came to BSV, right? Picking up another bag of BSV, okay, at under 25 bucks. I had the attitude, you know what? I already hit some of my quant goals. Technically speaking, I don't think I'll ever have, like a level of quant that I'm satisfied with. Let's just be honest with that. A lot of us have the same attitude. But BSV, I was like, you know what? I'm going to pick up a little more quant because it's like roughly around 100 or under. And I was just like, wow, look at BSV's price, under 25 bucks. I could literally pick up 4 of these for the price of 1 quant. So not only did that, I did more than did that, right? And I was glad to do that. But what's going on with this BSV is what you may be wondering about. So we're going to jump into a little brief outline that we have because BSV is doing the best right now, right? And shout out, of course, to some of you guys that hold some of these other things like VeChain. I know some of you guys are in the Flare network. It's cool stuff. So there is a company that recently made news, and if you've been following BSV, you're already in the know. You already know who they are, all right? So it's this one right here, and they're referred to as TAAL. And again, I'm going to keep bugging you guys about this. Maybe you don't like me saying, please smash the like button. It's free, don't cost anything, and it helps get this broadcast out because we do put a lot of time and energy each day to get you guys the news, live shows, record content, and so on. That's all we ask. We're not sponsored by anybody, but we do ask that. So June 20th, a few days ago, right, 3 days ago, TAAL slashes transaction fees on BSV blockchain by 98%. Now, for some of you guys who are kind of on the cusp of getting into BSV, you're like, I don't give a crap about TAAL. That doesn't mean squat to me. I don't know what that is. I was like saying, hey, Max, TZ 5X slash whatever by 100% or 99%. Like, that doesn't mean anything to you. I understand where you're coming from. We'll explain why TAAL is something you want to pay attention to. Moving on further, I'm just going to call it TAAL, a lot easier to say. But again, 3 days ago, this was mentioned. Okay, so TAAL is a leading provider of blockchain services. Recently, they made a groundbreaking move by cutting transaction fees on the BSV blockchain by 98% this week. And that, of course, is significance we're paying attention to. So the transaction fees have been reduced from 50 Satoshis, which is called sats, per kilobyte, right? What you see here in British pounds, to 1 SAT per kilobyte, roughly 0.000205. Okay. This is noteworthy action, underscores the possibility of balanced scalability without any surge in transaction expenses, thereby consolidating TAAL's position as the foremost, and here's one of the key moments, enterprise platform for large-scale data in the market. Now, I don't even know if he's here, and it's okay. I don't do these presentations because a certain person's here. But, I would like to thank Mr. Triple C, right? Cool Cat Crypto. I'll give him a shout. The guy's very, very passionate about this project for the longest time, always talking about it. Probably just getting tired of people like dismissing it, okay? Just completely dismissing it, Myself, I don't know if I ever actually call it fake Toshi, but I mean, we love Sean Crypto Smith. Shout out to him. He joking around, call it, fake Toshi, but I don't think this thing is a joke. I really do not think this thing is a joke. I really feel as though it's worth paying attention to. So if I'm going to be the type of person, which I have done this in the past, I'll beat myself up over, man, you remember 2010 pretty vividly. And I will not share the exact amount of, some of these things, but, it was denying myself that generational wealth because I got involved in a bunch of stupid, I guess you could say get rich quick schemes, right? Multi-level marketing. Multi-level marketing got such a bad name, right? That they start calling it what, guys? Network marketing. What I mean? It's just kind of like back in the days of the 80s and 90s. Remember US West? US West got a bad name. So what they rebranded themselves to? Quest. And then instead of, that didn't work out too well. So they got rebranded themselves again because it got such a bad name to CenturyLink. And I don't even know if they have a new name now, but you get the point, right? If you got a bad name, you're going to rebrand yourself. So we're going to get back into this. But, one of the key things that Cool Cat always mentioned, does your project scale? Look at this. Balanced scalability, right? Does your project allow, for doing an insane amount of like transactions, like really like insane TPS? Yes, it does. So it says the transaction fee benchmark on the BSV blockchain is notably lower compared to other chains. The average transaction fee, of course, for BTC is high, right? It's £1.89, whereas Ethereum imposes a fee of $2.94. But look at this part right here. Remember when ETH back in 2021 was like $9.34 on average per transaction, or at the height of the bull run when you're buying all that, mean token garbage? Yeah, I was doing it too. It's all right. I'm not pointing fingers. $300 in gas. My God, right? Let's spend $300 in gas to buy a $50 crap coin, right? We're all guilty of it at some point. So it says the economic impracticality of large-scale enterprise data applications is due to Ethereum scalability limitations and high transaction fees. True. As a result, TAAL's reduction of fees on the BSV blockchain offers a cost-efficient option that guarantees what, guys? Scalability while maintaining full functionality. That's crucial. Now, I'm not going to read all this, but I want to point this guy out. His name is Lars Jorgensen. He's the CEO of TAAL. He explains the importance of this move, emphasizing that it signifies a significant step towards creating a legitimate Internet of Value. How many times have we heard about Internet of Value, Internet of Things, Internet of Trust? So here's my key takeaway for all you newcomers or new to our show and so on. We pay attention to data, it's the new digital oil and so on. But there's certain CEOs of certain projects that, let's face it, they will brand their project with like a key three-liner, if you will. So if we know that Quant is the internet, part of the Internet of Trust, right? That's a different version of IoT. And we talk about JASMY, IoT as an Internet of Things. Enter in BSV, right? Basically, the Internet of the IOV, Internet of Value, okay? So it says basically speaking that despite the transition taking less than half a minute, its implications are enormous. The reduction of transaction fees to one SAT is a strategic move towards ensuring the longevity of the BSV blockchain. This initiative will enable the seamless expansion of the ecosystem while simultaneously enhancing the chain's utility. The decline of BSV results in a collective gain for all. The permanent reduction in charges available to all customers of the BSV network. The size of transactions may vary. However, the standard data size that is conveyed to the blockchain typically falls within the range of 400 to 1,000 bytes. The cost reductions are exemplified by the decrease in the price from 12.5 million to 25 cents for a million transactions. That's like just unbelievable advancement in the technology, is it not? Now, there's more of the whole thing here. We can nerd it out. We're not going to do that. But what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to take you over to TAAL real quick. After this outline is done, we'll kick it back into the comments. We just want to have a good flow. But look what it says here. Providing end-to-end solutions. This is who they are. And their infrastructure, provides cutting-edge solutions for business to move their applications onto the blockchain. TAAL's comprehensive product covers everything you need to achieve blockchain transformation. They're one of the industry leaders if you didn't even know about some of this stuff. So I'm going to show you just this quick little part real quick here. And before I do so, I'll kick it back in the comments because I realize I've been talking for a while. You're going to see this guy who had an interview or a presentation back on January 10th, 2022. The reason why I'm going to play this for you guys here in a bit, because it gives you a broader sense of like who he's about, why this is important, why we should pay attention to it. But this is Cal Surkask. He's going to explain how TAAL is leading blockchain transaction processing. Leading blockchain transaction processing. We always pay attention to the likes of Ripple, XRP. We pay attention to, Stellar, XLM. This is one I think we should pay definitely more attention to. So he's going to do a breakdown of why his company, TAAL, uses BSV. There's some real good aha moments in it that will really make you take note about why we should pay more attention to BSV. So I'm going to kick it back into the comments. And then after that, we'll get back into this outline and see if any of you guys got anything specific you want me to answer. I'm glad people welcome each other and so on. Glad to actually see that you're here, Mr. Cool Cat. I know that you want to talk about ordinals as well. I mean, I got to take more of a deeper dive into that, but, that does seem pretty impressive. I won't deny that. Stardog says the UK, we only eat pancakes on Shrove Tuesday. If you buy at any McDonald's for breakfast, you have to eat it outside on the roof in shame. Oh, okay. Well, I guess next time I'll eat I won't even eat it. I'm not going to touch that stuff anymore. But anyway, I was going to say I'll eat it in shame with a student. So that's okay. All right. And it was high school this time. It wasn't 5th and 6th grade. So I was glad to complete that. It was for business. All right. Luna Classic is getting bullish. Classy comes back. Well, that's good. I mean, welcome back to Mr. Classy Crypto. XXI Gaming says, what's good, everybody? Welcome back. Glad to have you here. Update on regards to Rain and the Mudbutt special. He took his Quant and his Mudbutt and said, see you until 2024. That is true. That is very, very true. Welcome to Magic Power. He says, hello, guten Tag, Liechtenstein Exchange. Just in the house. Welcome to Mr. Magic Power. Also the Alcy Life. Hopefully I didn't skip anybody. I think I did. Wayne Side, welcome. Brian Dowie, welcome. I am not into Milady. I'm not looking to get any more meme tokens, but if you guys make money in it, then more power to you. All right, welcome to Dave D. Welcome back. Glad to have you. Juan Rogel. Hey, Max, when do you think we can see JASMY at least 50 cents? Oh, man, that's a tough one. Possibly I'm going to go with maybe spring of 2024. People are not going to like hearing that. But, it could be sooner. Here's the thing. You see Tara Kono, when he's talking about DFFT, everything he mentions is about getting things fast-tracked, or I shouldn't even say fast-tracked, but like getting the ball going, right? The momentum going. He mentions by the end of this year going into next. So for me, that's what stands out. However, and by the way, watch the JASMY deep dive. I'm gonna have discipline after the show. I'm gonna do it. I'm not gonna do it on the live tonight. Don't want to be WrestleMania. Sorry to say, but I do have some real big info in regards to a DFFT update, of course, the JASMY connection and so on. There's been some recent developments regarding DFFT, and the cool thing about it is this time around, the United States being included in the conversation. That's definitely worth paying attention to. And the reason why I'm paying attention to it is because on the outline, have you seen the narrative shift? I think I've seen the narrative shift. I know a lot of you guys have seen the narrative shift. If you guys are tagging me and other content creators that you love, like, 2-Bit and so on, then what is the main narrative shift? The shift is institutional money is coming on in, right? If you see, BlackRock with a Coinbase ETF application and so on, that's bullish. That's institutional money coming in. Things obviously being linked with Quant, with overledger, right? I obviously can't say anything more in regards to that. But you saw some things that were leaked. We will get into, I guess, what is technically allowed to be shared. I'll show you guys a little bit of what Tokenizer has. It's just so bullish across the board. Ripple's XRP, this thing with the CBDC. We're going to show you a little bit about that. I got some news in regards to Stellar Lumens. But the main focus of today should be institutional money. And it's not just on one particular project like Quant or Ripple or Stellar. It's literally, like, in my opinion, across the board. You can even include, like, JASMY, for instance. Some people say, well, how is that? Again, you got to keep in mind, there is a certain amount in the tokenomics, as we know, do we not, that's set aside for institutional money, right? And that's, of course, worth paying attention to as well. So, my thing is this, I would love to see 50 cents, sometime this year. Who wouldn't? I also have to be a little bit of a realist. But, I honestly think that maybe like early 2024, we could see some of these things. I stated that I think maybe possibly 5 cents by the end of summer, but I think that was delayed because of the things that happened with the SEC. But with the momentum we're getting, maybe we get some of that momentum back. We'll have to see how things work out in that regard. But we do have the Fed pause for now. I did state that we get a Fed pause. It's blast off from here. It's not going to be blast off like parabolic overnight. If you've been following like the charts for, like, for instance, 2021, it wasn't everything just went insanely parabolic overnight. Maybe it felt that way with some projects like Shiba Inu and so on, right? But it's a steady, consistent climb to like 69K a Bitcoin on 11/11/2021. And there were some other ones that, performed well. Like, what was it? I believe CRO was in September 2021. SHIB was probably not even at 11/11/2021. There's many, many other projects, right? So my thing is this, right? Fed pause. The market is reacting based on that. And then you're seeing things, for instance, like from Watcher Guru, Fed Chairman Jerome Powell stating some bullish info, and we shared some of that, right, in regards to like some like the institutional money and trying to be on board acquiring some of these digital assets. So my thing is this, if you can't beat them, join them, as the saying goes. And you're starting to see that across the board, and the narrative change, even with some of the, some of the bad players here in the US. Let's just be honest about that. So that's just the way I personally feel about it. I feel as though let's shoot for 5 cents, like I originally was stating, by the end of summer. Let's see what happens from there. But we also have to be realist about things, and that is just because we got this Fed pause. Remember what Powell mentioned before, and that is basically we could still see basis points get raised in a few months later down the line. I hope that doesn't happen. I hope it's just a true, solid Fed pause and stays that way. But we'll have to see what happens with some of the new reports coming out later. All right, Max, you can claim free Casper every 24 hours. It's not very much, but it made me make a point to start a bag. Price dip too, so nice. Oh, awesome. I appreciate it. That's good info because I've been wanting to get into Casper anyway. So that's just the way I look at it. That's cool. Cool stuff. Let's make it happen. I don't know. I mean, I would like it back in the 1 cent range, but I'm not going to really complain about the 2 cent range. It just means a little bit less instead of, for more, but that's okay. I still will wait for a pullback. I always wait for a pullback. Don't buy green candles. Buy on green candles, everybody. But there always will be people that do that. Nice, Max, bringing the sauce. Thank you, thank you. All right, we're gonna wait a couple more comments. One in particular from Michael Montclair. What up, Gary? Is doing a 180 day 2-bit. Interesting. That was Ollie with the gay comment. That's okay. Doesn't really offend me too much because I know I'm not, you know. All right, we're gonna leave something on the screen for a bit, which is GT's comment. Hey everyone, thank God it's Friday. Yes, yes. Usually I do the thumbnail as TGIF with Max, but this is different. All right, let's see how we're doing on the likes real quick. We'll kick it back into outline. We're at 32 likes. Let's see if we get a few more likes for we can get this broadcast out to a broader base. I understand there's some other shows going on. Do appreciate you guys being here, especially you, GT, and Mr. Lambo's Crypto Talk. I'm gonna double check the other screen, see how we're doing. So to answer Mr. Lambo's Crypto Talks message on the other screen, he says, where do you guys buy BSV? I got mine off of KuCoin. I've never had issues with KuCoin. I know for some people it seems like it's kind of intimidating, but once you get used to it, it's very, very easy. You could quickly move things from your main funding account to your trading account. On your spot trading, it's super easy to use both on your phone, both on the web-based. I prefer the desktop, but I mean, I've gotten so used to both of them that it's just honestly a piece of cake. I still don't see what the big deal is, but it's okay. Let's kick it back to our outline. We do have quite a bit to get into, so I want to share something with you guys. And of course, let's kick it back to this whole thing in regards to TAAL and BSV. So, you know, we were talking about this company, okay? TAAL. You may be wondering, like, I still don't get it, Max. Can you give me a little bit more info? Well, yes. So just like it shows right here, the fastest and most effective transaction processing in the blockchain sectors are powered by TAAL. My thing is this, all right? This is the bottom line. And I've said this numerous times for over a year of being with you guys, from being starting off with no hat and showing off my ugly mug, with no background or anything like that, with two people, Cody Core and probably a random internet person, to where we're at now. But my policy has not shifted since then. And that basically is, I want to be invested personally, not financial advice though, into what I believe is going to be generational wealth. And in order for me to attain generational wealth, I have to do research on where the institutional money is putting that money, what kind of innovative blockchain solutions are out there, and so on. So this is TAAL, and they are definitely invested heavily, I should say, into some of that institutional stuff. They recognize BSV, you know, Bitcoin Association's BSV. Now, why would that be? Why, you know, put so much emphasis on it? So I've gone ahead and I fast forwarded this video, and it's not that long of a video, but we're going to show you some key highlights here. Now, back on January 10th of 2022, this is a blast from the past because TAAL made recent news within the last 3 days. If you just tuned in, Cal Surkask is the chief commercial officer over at TAAL, Distributed Information Technologies, right? He discussed how blockchain transaction processing works during the last CG New York conference. He explained about the rapid growth in average block size of the BSV blockchain and its capability to process steadily increasing transaction output within the network. Now, yesterday, before today's pump, we did cover pretty heavily BSV, and it was pretty cool to do that. Give you guys like a brief summary about what happened at the London blockchain conference and so on. But it says the BSV blockchain continues to develop and new technologies are made. Transaction processors can offer new services to customers, whether to business or individuals. Look at this quote real quick, then we'll play the video. It says, we built the infrastructure, we have the technology, now we need to get that utility, that value. Again, pounding home the whole thing, their slogan, right? And that basically is IOV, Internet of Value, all right? Like I was mentioned earlier, you know, Quant, Internet of Trust, JASMY, Internet of Things. So how do we get people to build on the blockchain, all right? Well, let's get into why he feels as though BSV stands out. Please smash that like. Thank you for joining us today. We're doing this whole thing with BSV, and we'll kick it into a little bit of Quant, JASMY, XRP, XLM, and that will round off the news for the night with you guys. Here we go.
TAAL believes in the Bitcoin SV blockchain because we believe it has the most potential for innovation, because it's scalable, because of its low-cost fees, and its stable protocol, and all the other things you can do with it, as we all know, we've heard throughout this conference, from smart contracts, tokens, to micropayments, nano payments, you name it. So we believe in this technology, we stand behind it, and because of that, we put our money where our mouth is. And we contribute a very, very large amount of hash power to this network, and that continues to grow, and it will continue to grow over time. We recently, last few months, processed over 52 million transactions, and that's a huge amount of transactions, and that continues to grow. And as you saw throughout this conference with all the new applications coming online, we expect this to be really, really big in the next little while. And something that makes us especially proud is recently we mined a 2 gigabyte block. Now, after hearing at this conference, as you probably heard, that, hey, this is happening routinely right now, this was a very big milestone for us. Why? Because it got us to test out our infrastructure, to see if it would scale along with the network and along with the utility that's happening, and it did. So we're especially proud about that. But it also demonstrated the scalability powers of this network and the capabilities for transaction throughput. And this will continue, as you know, to scale more and more and more. What does that mean? That means more use cases, everything from IoT to smart cities to microgrid technology. And that's what excites us. So we built the infrastructure, we have the technology. Now we need to get that utility and that value. How do we drive people to TAAL? How do we get them to use our infrastructure and then build on the blockchain? So I like to break this up into very simple. I want to say we write, we read and analyze, and we tokenize. So if you're a company, an enterprise, and you want to come to TAAL and write your application to the blockchain, we allow you to do this very, very simply. You sign up an account in our TAAL console. Once that's done, you get access to a number of development tools. Once you do that, we work with you to integrate. We give you customer support. You get instant transaction processing, instant and secure transaction verification. If you want us to set up a node for you, we will do that as well. And it continues, and we have more and more services. But also, very importantly, to a lot of enterprises, we offer customized, flexible pricing. So if you're a large enterprise and you're doing a massive amount of transactions, you can work with us to get a volume discount. If you're a smaller application developer that wants some customized pricing for certain needs or certain use cases, so you want a payload data price or you want a standard transaction price, we'll work with you to do that. We are flexible, we're open for business. We want to help you develop. But maybe, actually, one more thing that's really interesting is we do offer fiat pricing. So if you want to pay in your own currency, you don't want to deal with crypto or a wallet, we will help you do that as well.
I'm going to play a little bit more in regards to this, but there, one of the things that dropped earlier today in regards to, like, for instance, with Quant, was the idea of, like, you don't have to just pay in Q&T. You could do fiat, but it all gets converted back to Quant anyhow. But the key thing here is, notice how a lot of these work models are very, very similar. Enter in, for instance, BSV. We're going to play just a tad bit more in regards to this. Here we go.
And maybe most importantly, there is that peace of mind our customers have that they can sign an agreement with a credible, transparent, publicly traded company. So you have your write, and now we have our read and analyze. So you write your data to the blockchain, now you need to do something with that. And for this, some people may have heard about it, it's What's on Chain. And this is our read and analyze solution. What's on Chain has been doing super, super well, 156 plus web and API calls, requests, and it grows and it continues to grow. And over the next few months, we'll be introducing more features that will allow you to do a lot more things with your data. So again, another way to create innovation. So stay tuned for our What's on Chain Block Explorer. So we have the write, the read, the analyze, and now the tokenize. So tokenize is really interesting because we, in the last year, have been doing a private beta test with a number of applications, a number of businesses, and many of them are at this conference. And our STAS token protocol allows you to create and issue any type of token on the BSV blockchain at a base level. So this opens up a whole world of new use cases. And this is why we're very excited to speak, to have people that are companies that are beta testing us, like Vinex, who was at this conference, or speaking earlier with their STAS wallet. We had Chenti, who's changing the way electronic payments are done. Slictionary, that's empowering users to come up with definitions for words and images and using blockchain for that. Kodug, that's looking at doing microtransaction stablecoins, and the list goes on. So it's working, and we're very, very excited about this. And in the next few months, we'll be talking about, or we'll be releasing a public beta version. So if you do have questions, come talk to our smart and capable technical guys after. We can talk to you about the SDK and getting you set up as well. So you have write, read, analyze, and tokenize. And when you put that all together and you put it under one platform and you make that platform easy to integrate to, you make it secure, and you back that platform up with really solid, reliable infrastructure, and then you underpin it with a blockchain that scales and is low cost, you get some really good innovation. And this is why we have companies like Fix, who you probably heard at this conference. This is a gaming studio that's using blockchain to create games. So they have their Crypto Fights game, which is doing extremely well. We're very happy to work with them. We're seeing companies like Unisat solving for sustainable supply chain with provenance traceability. Mint Blue, these guys are working with large enterprises like accounting firms to put their data on chain and to do it in a very seamless, easy way. And then Brightview, another company that's creating a platform to do online rewards and that users get paid for reviews. That's it. That's what we do. We're meat and potatoes. We're infrastructure. But we're okay with that. So if you're a blockchain or you're an enterprise looking at coming onto blockchain, I should say, or you're on another blockchain, a different ecosystem, and maybe you're running into transaction scaling issues or cost issues, or you're a developer, like we've seen throughout this conference, and applications that are already on the BSV or within the BSV ecosystem, and you just want to focus on optimizing your business, not what's under the hood, that infrastructure, I want to leave you with this. Come and talk to TAAL. We are open for business, and it's about time. I'm Cal from TAAL, and please talk to us if you have any questions. We look forward to working with you, and enjoy the rest of the conference. Thank you.
All right, I was glad to show you guys that. There is one more particular clip, but this one is really quick and to the point, and it's just some really good stuff. It actually came from CoinGeek conference, also again in New York back then. But one thing I like that was mentioned here, and I'll share this part with you guys. It says that they saw presentations from several BSV companies that have created consumer-facing applications. These guys introduced to the world PureSense, and that's basically Twitter's integration, in which they did a live demo where they even sent money to Elon Musk, of all people. This kind of flew under the radar, did it not? And George COC Samuels from Honia. There were also presentations of some of the largest companies that have created enterprise solutions. Again, like I mentioned earlier, TAAL. We know about InChain, really big when it comes to BSV. There was, of course, a presentation for some of these other key people. But I fast forwarded to this. This gets to some of the good stuff. Listen to what these guys have to say, and then we'll kick it back into the comments. Thank you again for being here. Please smash that like. Here we go.
This conference, I've been learning so much about BSV blockchain for enterprise, and I find it so fascinating. And I think that's a segment that we really should focus more on in terms of coverage, because it's not all about, I get it, now we're seeing the shift from private networks to public networks.
If I'm being totally honest here, I actually overshot BSV and tried a couple of other chains, and I had to come back because they didn't do what they promised and they didn't support what we on this stage wanted to achieve. From a technical perspective, there was no other option.
We decided to move on to the BSV blockchain because it has a much better climate footprint picture or story. It is also a low cost to mint, and it is, I think, a better performance story than on Ethereum.
I'm afraid to say I'm no expert, early adopter maybe, but I just feel lucky to be on the stage with such brilliant minds. These guys are innovating, they're creating, and I'm at the edge of my seat waiting for the utilities to come about so that I can use them in my everyday life. I leave it up to them to create what's next.
All right, so that was pretty quick. Glad to share it. But I mean, think about that. There was that one comment, this guy was just like, I kind of ignored BSV, right? But he's on par or on board, I should say. I mean, I kind of had that same attitude. I was just like, I don't know about this. People are saying that's a, fake Toshi and whatnot. But my thing is this, when there's opinions for many of us, right? The vast majority of us and so on, it's just like, at the end of the day, just take a deep dive into it. Do more of your own research. That's what I did, and I became very, very impressed with BSV. I'm glad to have invested into it. Again, it's not financial advice. It's just something I chose to do myself. I know some of you guys are into it as well. But on that last major pullback, which seemed like it was the bottom, roughly under 25 bucks, I was glad, because it's the top performing one. And also, like we mentioned before, where's the height of the next bull run, or the future for a utility run. I feel as though a lot of these, they're part of my portfolio, part of your portfolio. We'll be glad that we were patient in this long marathon race of, accumulating some of these digital assets and so on. So let me kick it back into the comments. Glad to, of course, share this information in regards to BSV with you guys. On our next part of our segment, we're going to jump into JASMY. It's just real brief. I'm also going to have a deep dive video. Hopefully it'll be out later tonight, but is in regards to a lot of DFFT, data free flow with trust. And it's definitely something you want to take a look into because it's all very, very recent. All right. Going to pull some banners back up here. Just was taken off the HUD to make it a little bit more clean. On top of that, we'll get this other banner going on again. And let's jump back to the comments for a brief moment. I do see some super chats came in. Let me get into that. I do appreciate you guys. Let's start off with the super chats. I saw Bobby Jonas is in the house. Thank you for being here, Bobby. Gonna go further up. Also, welcome Patrick Collier. Thank you. All right. Let's see where we're at. I think that might just be about it. Quick shout out to Crypto John. Give him a follow over on his platform. A lot of you guys are. I listen to Crypto John. Great content creator. Thank you for joining us here, John. Shout out to you, man. And let me see. I'm going to just get to this highlighted comment. There's a lot of new comments that came in while I was presenting everything. So I think the super chat comes from the one and only Mr. Elon Muff, aka Mike Cornwell. I did see this comment on the way down. Max is the man. Very few genuine, honest people on here. He is one of them. Well, thank you for that. I do appreciate it, Crypto John. I feel the same way about you. You do come across as being pretty genuine yourself and so on. I like your format. Sometimes you're out in the woods. A lot of times you're out in the car. I think people like that. All right. You want to see if I'm going to stomp the cap? That's funny. This is OG Queen. Welcome. Thank you for being here. All right, here we go. Elon Musk, 99-cent super sticker. Thank you very, very much, Mike Cornwell. Do appreciate the ongoing support. Also, he has another one, $2 super chat. Boom. Do appreciate that as well. April, of course, is hoping everyone had a beautiful Friday night. I think there's another super chat that might have came in. All right. Let's see where we're at. Just trying to get to that part. Where the heck is it? This is a classic line from Bobby Jonas. So if you're a content creator, how this crypto, Crypto John, get used to seeing Bobby Jonas post this on any XDC video you do, but that's okay. Welcome again, Bobby Jonas. All right. I could have sworn there was like one more super chat I might have missed or something. Let me see here. What do I think about some other YouTubers calling JASMY a scam? There's always going to be people who are going to call stuff. You know, it's just like, it's like anything. I mean, how about Quant? People call Quant a scam. Are you kidding me? Yeah, there's always going to be people like that, man. I mean, it's just the way it goes. I remember being a Shiba Inu and people tell me that I was a fool for being into Shiba Inu. And that was my top performer 2021. I mean, say what you want, whether you're for SHIB or not. If it wasn't for SHIB, I wouldn't even be here with you guys. So, you know, that's the way I look at it. But yeah, I mean, they're going to call anything, you know, a scam. I mean, how about this? People still say BTC is a scam, you know, crypto in general. You know, people are going to say it's a scam. It is what it is. People are just, they're not on board about stuff. But when you pinpoint some things on people and you say, can you give me some actual examples of how it's a scam? And if their argument back to you is, well, it just is. I mean, anybody with like, you know, this one I hate. I hate to use the word hate because I'm not really a hateful person. But if your argument is, well, everybody knows it's a scam, and it just is. I mean, you know, I would never invest into that because I'm, you know, any educated person, when I start hearing that, any educated person, and this is, of course, without them even knowing that I have an educational background. But when I hear somebody say that, any educated person knows that crypto is a scam. And then I just reply back, oh, okay. You know, like I'm thinking to myself, I'm really going to argue with this person? You know what I mean? Like they're so set in their ways. But I may throw in one extra tidbit and I'll say, well, oh, okay. So can you give me some use cases on why you feel that, you know, distributed ledger technologies are, you know, part of the scam or blockchain? And then they just look at you with a puzzled look. Again, you really want to waste your time with that on the argument, right? It's kind of like, and I don't mean no offense, right? But it's kind of like, as the saying goes, arguing with a person like that is like, you know, arguing or competing in a special Olympics to a sense. The argument is just, it's pretty much retarded. It's stupid. Like, why would you do that? Anyway. You know, save yourself all the extra waste of time. You know, there's going to be people that are going to be on board and there's people that aren't. And it's just the way it goes. All right. 6:55 p.m. from Larry. Smash the like, y'all. Thank you very much. Hopefully you're enjoying your very, very lovely special day. All right. Crypto John says, I agree with Max. Always two sides to any, including crypto. Including Bitcoin. Tim Shea, thank you so much. 656, the super chat a minute ago. Max, how can you go wrong with Quant, bro? Keep bringing the sauce. Yeah, I was so disappointed. I wasn't able to, I had to take that off, you know, and so I guess I could have had the whole video. I don't know. The main thing was that actual intro video that plays the whole thing. We'll get into some Quant after I believe the JASMY coverage, but I'm glad you saw it, and I'm glad that you feel very bullish on it. Yes, I mean, you know, institutional money. That's why we talk about some of these things like BSV, or, you know, was it yesterday or the day before we talked about some of the new things with Hedera, you know, a lot of things, right? Casper, I believe it was the other day. There's some key things, but I mean, again, it's the institutional money. It's so, you know, it may not seem too impressive when you see like PayPay and some of these things like pumping really, you know, big time up. But my thing is, I got into this whole thing for an investment that was not going to be a get rich quick scheme, you know, a long-term investment, something solid. And the way I look at it is, you know, this gives me, you guys, and so on, a chance to accumulate during what's left of the accumulation phase and so on. And yeah, I mean, I don't want to get into some project in which may do well just right now or tomorrow, and then that's it. And then investors get wrecked and so on. You know, like what I was telling Larry, and what he was telling me before is just like, we could be like the average content creator channel where, you know, we get some sponsored, you know, meme tokens and stuff like that. But am I going to keep shilling things that just, you know, they could take away from somebody's like, you know, livelihood, right? It's just like you guys, all of us, right? This is our hard-earned money. You just can't, it just does not set well with me, or, you know, to say, hey, let's get into this, and it's just like, oh, I don't know, it could be sketchy, you know. Or even if there's like, it's like flipping a coin, 50% chance that it's gonna, you know, be around or is solid. Nah, man, it's just like, forget all that. Like, let's research the ones that years on out are going to give us that generational wealth. And honestly, we're not too far from it. You know, we talk about some of this stuff is going to happen late 2023. Other things going to happen in 2024. Obviously, we're all paying attention to the Bitcoin halving. 2025. A lot of people feel as though that will be the true, you know, new all-time high for the 4-year boom cycle and so on. So, but at the end of the day, even if you're not the type of person that believes in a utility run, there's money to be made between, especially like the end of this year to 2025, 2026. And I'm not going to complain about that. If I was on board many years ago for the concept of a Roth IRA, or, working my butt off at some company until I'm 65 years old, to have a pension and stuff like that, I can't wait 2 or 3 more years for the generational wealth, real, true generational wealth. Yeah, I could definitely wait, and I'll start. I should say start. I have been accumulating for the longest time. My thing though is just there's a short list of cryptos I'm going to get into, like maybe Caspa's the next one, Stratos, Tim, like what you got right here, like Flux, like you're mentioning, so on. So, but after that, I mean, it's just keeping, still stacking what I have, and try to, set new goals with that. Like my next goal for JASMY is probably going to be 2 million. I'm just going to be honest, because, I let up the cat out of the bag before, so a lot of people know about that. But and when I see reports from other people that have been in JASMY like longer than me, who came in literally at 0.002829 roughly, who have like over 3 million JASMY, I'm like, man, are they really complaining all that much when all this drama happened with Binance and so on? Or do they understand the greater, bigger picture of the Internet of Things, or data free flow with trust, or, Japan's leading the charge? I'm telling you flat out, tonight's deep dive, when you see it and recorded, is going to confirm a lot of things, just kind of like we confirmed some things with Quant that seem like they were speculative and are no longer speculative. There's a reason why we connect the dots, because we want them to stay connected. We want to make things valid with the research. All right. Gonna also thank KK for being here. But yeah, thank you again, Tim Shea. I think that's it in regards to super chats. Let me just double check. All right, so we're gonna get into the next part of what we have. Sorry that if I skipped a bunch of comments, I wasn't really intending to do that on purpose. But a whole wave of comments came through. Please smash that like if you haven't done so already. I think we're doing all right with the likes so far, about the 43. We will kick it back to what we have. So obviously we covered quite a bit in regards to BSV, with TAAL and so on. And, it's the top, or it's second top performer of the top 100 for the day. Great stuff to see in that regard. I'm not complaining being up. And if I'm in the profits or you're in the profits, are we complaining about anything? No. No, we're not. All right. So I'm going to show you guys something I just recently found. This little snippet will be included on the deep dive. But I stumbled across it when I completed the Quant video early this morning, like really, really early, late last night / early morning when I was sick. So this comes from IVS, and let me see if that's good. Yeah, it is. So IVS Crypto 2023, right? We obviously talked about this. This is the big event coming up here soon. And we talked about how this is a diamond sponsored event from Ripple, right? And some people say, oh, wow, they're partnered with JASMY. They're not partnered with JASMY. It's just that this is, a real key event, like the biggest event in blockchain in Japan, right? And so, yes, to have Ripple be the diamond sponsor of this is pretty big. We pointed out a few key things. Genki Oda of not just SBI, but of BitPoint is there. We know that, of course, he was the main guy in the past many years ago to introduce BTC to the people of Japan. He blanketed many different areas, shopping plazas, you name it, right? All over Tokyo with these BTC like ATMs and so on, with the BitPoint, logo on it and so on. So what's also important, of course, is, he is a key person when it comes to, being a regulator, right? With FSA, the Japanese version of the SEC. But honestly, that's like a bad thing to call them, but because they embrace crypto over in Japan, unlike us here in the United States. So Genki Oda, and we mentioned BitPoint, key partner to JASMY and so on, right? So I said a few days ago, I said, guys, look, we just got to be patient. I'm sure this website just simply needs to be updated. All right, Max, can you get with it? Can you show us proof? Here's proof. My famous Control F is Coochie Boy said it's basically what caused me to get straight A's or something back in college. That's okay. So Control F is your best friend. Always get an ebook. Don't get a textbook, right? Because here's why. Boom, type in JASMY, comes straight up. And there it is. It's updated, guys. And we have the lovely Hiroshi Harada, the head honcho. Well, not the head honcho, but, the ambassador for Japan on behalf of JASMY. We know that his buddy, if you will, was the other guy was Arashi. I can't remember his name, but I always call him Hara's homeboy. He's the ambassador from China. So if you go to the site for IVS Crypto 2023 and you click on Hara's name, you will now see it takes you to another page, loads up his profile, and it says Hiroshi Harada. It says CEO JASMY Lab Inc. I don't know about CEO, but I mean, he does have his position. Some of these things are obviously in Japanese, and that's okay. But the key thing is this, right? It gives you some info in regards to, like, what's he going to do on Friday, June 30th? Well, between 3:30 p.m. to 4 p.m. GMT +9, I imagine that's Japanese time. He is going to cover this topic of JASMY, data democracy and finance democracy. Says, like, for instance, he's a moderator. There's some other things here that were posted. Hara retweeted them. Infinity Ventures Crypto, IVC, posted this 18 hours ago. It says, excited to welcome our gold corporate partner, JASMY Management, and our upcoming IVS Crypto Conference from the 28th of this month to the 30th. JASMY CFO, that's his actual, position, and JASMY Lab CEO. Okay, I see what they should just put, lab instead. Hara, right? We'll be giving speeches regarding data democracy and finance democracy. Now, hopefully, we get somebody down there that'll actually take, high definition video. Even if it's all in Japanese, that's fine. We can just put up some captions. No big deal. It says at the same time, we will be presenting full range, like it says, corporate partner, gold, JASMY, and so on. Now, the other thing I want to show you here is really, really cool. Look at this. Let's just take you straight to it. And then some of you guys have retweeted this on crypto Twitter. I believe I have retweeted as well. But I mean, come on. Look what it says. Had the opportunity to attend NF Tokyo 2023 as NFTs. It was clear that Japanese government is trying to develop intellectual property and content worldwide as national strategy. Now, I want to state this. When you see the deep dive that I get into in regards to this DFFT update, it gets into some of these specific things. But instead of just getting, bullish on the whole idea that, JASMY or Japan is leading the charge through DFFT, data free for low with trust, and also signifying, what's her name, Margaret Vestager from the European Union. Now you start to see a little bit of the United States. And when I see that, I said to myself, this with the combination of, oh man, BlackRock, Coinbase, application ETF, and so on. Fidelity, this company, that company, Quant with overledger update. This whole thing with BSV, institutional money. What I'm talking about? It's just like, with that guy that we should show you earlier from his particular project. But again, institutional money. It's just, this is where people feel as though, like, well, then if that's the case, then forget the accumulation phase, Max. It's coming to an end. And like Mike asked me yesterday, right? Not crypto Mike, but regular Mike. If there's really a regular Mike, whatever that's supposed to mean, you get what I'm saying. Bull run or accumulation phase. I'm starting to lean more towards, bull run, right? It just, the writing's literally on the wall. Unless, of course, some macro crazy economic event happens, and those things can happen. So it says, this right here, it says, we, JASMY, will strive to further expand from the Japanese market to global. Let's take this thing global. And this has been part of their roadmap for quite a while, right? It's not just Japan only, a Japanese blockchain, secure blockchain PC, Japan only. No, they expanded and so on. And in the past, we also saw that Kunitake Ando apparently set up to have some kind of office over in, Silicon Valley and San Francisco, San Jose, the Bay Area type area. And, none of those things were like 100% verified. But if they're taking this global, should we take more of a deeper dive into that? Well, I might. You guys know me. I'll probably do some of those things. But all right, let's show you the picture. Forget what I'm talking about. Max, just show us the darn picture. All right. So I'm going to blow this up a little bit. And yeah, man, I mean, unbelievable. Look at this. Let's blow it up just a tad bit more. You guys see it all right? Let's see here. I think you do. I mean, there's Hara, right? And he does look like a stereotypical like pop star. He looks a little worn out right here, though. He probably had a long day. But look at that. Look at that on the bottom. Ripple, baby. Yeah. It's just like, and then them being the diamond sponsor, for IVS Crypto 2023 blockchain conference. I mean, all these other people put on so much focus, like, Pepe's up 70% of the week. Okay, that's fine. Make your money in Pepe. For me personally, I got my focus on other stuff right now, and my thing is, like, one thing I love about the JASMY community is you get that meme-esque vibe to it, right? Where, you have a community that comes together. And I like that about some meme tokens and so on. But it's like, honestly, the best of both worlds. You get that meme feel with the community. And on top of that, the best part of it all, unlike memes, you actually get real solid real world utility. And not just one real world utility, you get multiple layers of utility. That's what I love, right? And that's why I want to continue to talk more about this. So there's that picture. I think there's a little bit more that we might have in regards to all this for JASMY. If not, yeah, it's not. That's okay. But it's just super cool. What the heck is this? A dog chasing somebody into the water? But I mean, what's there's not to like? I mean, if you see your project, like I've always mentioned, side by side with Ripple, or you're attending a conference that's sponsored for them, that's bullshit in itself. Without even taking more of a deeper dive into it, right? Absolutely. All right. If anything, I think I would leave that up there for a brief bit more. My bad. Let me get to another picture real quick. Just kind of leave that up there because, it's just too cool not to show. And then we'll get into a few more comments. Please smash that like. Thank you so much for those who are here. We'll get further down into the comments. KK, welcome again. To know JASMY is to own JASMY. Yes, absolutely. Stardog. Yeah, Bitcoin is a scam. Yeah, join. I get what you're saying. Crypto John, if Bitcoin was called worthless, then no altcoin is safe from accusations. Right, absolutely. And it's like, John, I'm sure you might have seen some of these things, and if you haven't, it's okay. It's called you're human. Like there's not me or anybody else that could cover every single thing. There's 23 different, 26,000 almost different blockchain projects and so on. A lot of them are a bunch of nonsense, but like what he said right here, guys. I mean, think about this. We've been following this whole thing with Bill Hinman and his family, Prometheum and so on. Like, we're definitely going to find out what the heck is going on with that. The timeline of everything that happened, many years ago, and then like the start of the Ripple lawsuit and all that, it's just like, it's worth pointing out, and if Bitcoin was called worthless, then no altcoin is safe from accusations. Yeah, but they always consistently said, like, that one was supposed to be the one that's supposedly like off limits. Like, give me a break. It's just, anyway. We're gonna go further down. A few more comments. Blackwood, welcome. Glad to have you here, man. There's a dab from the so-called metaverse, right? He doesn't think SHIB is a scam. I don't think it's a scam. I mean, I understand people are ticked off about, Shibarium delays, but, how about this? It's like, think about any solid project. I'm going to read the rest of your comment here in a second. not even counting cryptocurrency or blockchain and so on. Like, let's talk about the automotive industry. Okay, just for a brief moment. Like, here's one, and I still haven't seen Ford versus Ferrari. I've been wanting, it's on my list like to see, but if you have the unveiling of like of a special engine, right, and you're like, we're so proud about this engine, and like then you have somebody from your team who is really into like analytics and so on. He says, look, we should not unveil this at this upcoming event in Detroit, because based off of the last, I don't know, let's just use an example, the last time we did this 4 years ago, sales were not too great during this time. But if we unveil this brand new amazing engine during this time frame, okay, we can make, I don't know, let's just say something like way more money, 1,400% more than we normally do, or something. I don't know, just throwing some example out there. Could this be a perfect example, like with Shiba Inu, where, like, and I'll give credit to Larry. Larry's mentioned this in the past. Shiba Inu is done, right? It probably is done, but it's the timing. So if they know that, and you're a SHIB holder, do you really want them to rush in what is the last remnants of a bear market or whatever? No, you probably want them to share that towards the height of, or going up at least on the markup period, right? We're going from accumulation phase to markup period, so you want to share that info at the height of that. Then you get, for instance, people will apes in reality, or just have FOMO written across their chest. I mean, if you're aping in, you are FOMOing. It's basically the same thing. So that's just the way I personally look at it. All right. So Blackwood says, however, he questions the motives of those behind Bone. Fair enough. Leash, and asks, how does it actually help Shiba Inu? It's a good point. My thing is, for people have mentioned it in the past, it's just like, how do these other tokens and coins going to really help with the value of the native token, the original token of SHIB, if you're taking away what was supposed to be the future utility of that? Wouldn't it diminish it? And of course, they've explained in the past, and we're not going to go down this rabbit hole right now. I mean, for me personally, like we mentioned numerous times, that Bone, technically speaking, is like how you look at Ethereum as far as the Shiba Inu ecosystem. Bone is the gas. Leash is like the Bitcoin of the Shiba Inu ecosystem. But then you have these new tokens they're going to be introduced, like was it PAW? Is it PAW? I can't remember. And then there's also supposed to be shit, which of course I did one video where I put, and but anyways, SHI, and it's just like you gotta wonder if, like, what do you think? Why would you name it that? There's a reason why they call these things coins for a reason, but to each his own. Great comment though, Blackwood. Thank you, man. Shout out to you. Cash Cats is in the house. Larry is the man. If you guys want to join us tomorrow, I'm sure Larry will be on camera and he'll give you guys just tons of like amazing dating advice on how to properly or improperly go about dating women from the Ukraine. You want to tune into that? What does that have to do with crypto? Absolutely nothing. But anyway, shout out to Larry and what he does on his shows. Stardock says, yeah, Blackwood SHIB has zero utility when it could have loads without Bone, etc. It's yep, literally took the words right out of my mouth. I mean, I said that earlier, and you guys all feel the same way, obviously. Tim Shea says, all I know is I'm getting more Quant. Yeah, especially after seeing that video, right? I mean, it was bullish. I mean, I hope the guy can, find out like other people release. It sucks from a content creator point of view, because it's just like, yes, I'm finally going to be the first to put the news out. But like I was telling Quant Papa, at the end of the day, I'm part of the QNT army, just like a lot of you guys are, and so on, right? And if it's going to put any damper for the greater good, and it's going to hurt them, like was Andrew Carrier was mentioning, they want to have a proper launch of officially getting this out for their time frame. I don't know how that leaked out. All I know is, I'm just a guy who sees key things on crypto Twitter or Reddit and some other outlets, right? Community driven news. You know, it's just like there's a difference between mainstream news, which only covers two things. Let's be honest, guys, or three things. You know, all-time highs, massive crashes like FTX and so on, or you know, maybe some like a little bit of like, you know, BlackRock or something like that. And that's about it. They don't tell you about the use cases of blockchain and distributed ledger technologies and so on. They just don't do that. So we have to keep ourselves in the know. And that's why we do hang out like you on crypto Twitter. That's why you go to other shows or, you know, watch recorded content and so on. Same with Coochie Boy. I see you guys other places and so on. I might not comment all the time, right? Because I'll be driving down the street and, you know, listening, you know, on the phone, like, you know, classic radio style type of format. You know, you guys do it with your Bluetooth and so on. You can't be texting and driving. But anyway, smash that like a little bit more. If you haven't done so already, you just connected. We're going to get into the next segment here in a bit, which I believe is QNT. So yeah, let's go ahead and do that. I'm gonna read this comment from Coochie Boy. He says it's more about the court siding with Coinbase regarding their user agreements. One customer lost over 30K from a scammer. And thank you again for that info you sent me, Coochie Boy. I'm actually not going to include it on the live, but I'm going to use it, I think, to round off my outline for the deep dive, recorded deep dive. All right, we're going to double check the other screen, see if we're doing okay with comments and stuff like that. I don't think Eva is from the Ukraine. I think she's from Greece, right? That's why I call her Greek goddess. All right, so, you know, there it is. One last shot of Hara standing next to that little background, ripple and so on. Pretty cool stuff. We're going to jump into the Quant segment just here briefly. And, of course, I showed you guys this. If you missed out on it, it's okay. This was the video that was basically forced to take off of YouTube. It is what it is. Hope to relist it. But yeah, massive news: the birth of institutional adoption, overledger to go public. Now, what I will show you though is a kind of a taste of what was allowed to be shared. And we have had Tokenizer on the show before, and no, what I shared on the video wasn't anything that Tokenizer did share. But he posted this earlier. Let me double check to see that I'm not muted or anything like that. Good. Okay. Cool. Again, please smash that like. It does help to get this out to a broader base. But anyway, overledger platform now publicly accessible. And that was the thing I mentioned earlier. You know, it's gone public. Like what we saw earlier before that little demo, you know, that wasn't like, you know, anything available to like the mass public, you know. I can't mention a whole lot, but I will state this. You guys, of course, have seen, I believe you have, right? We showed you guys that little video where it shows like a 27-second clip of you know, this guy. He deploys a ERC20 token, a meme token. He does it in 27 seconds, right? So that was very easy to use. Well, how about having a platform like Overledger where you can easily have institutional money come in and deploy things on Overledger? The ease of access and so on. So huge news for QNT community and multi-chain developers, like I was saying earlier, right? Really attractive to the devs. We can now see some functions of QNT token and its role in their service pricing models. First time annual sub equals 229.57 QNT. Oh my God. You know, like I wouldn't mind having, you know, that much quant, right? 10K, as in 10,000 annual subs equals 2.29 million QNT, 15%. Now, Tokenizer on this 1 minute clip is going to show you some of these key things. But if you already know, then you already know. And basically what I mean by that is if you understand how powerful it is to have your cryptocurrency project or product, in this case, Overledger, using actual utility, then this is beautiful. Let's go ahead and play this. Please smash that like. This is straight from Tokenizer. Please give him a follow on crypto Twitter. Thank you. Here we go.
Quant Network has officially opened their core solution Overledger to the public. The best part is we can now see the utility of the QNT token. And the first thing we notice is, of course, the clean layout on the dashboard. Right away, you can see your credits and how much you have available to use. Then there's the news section right below showing the recent news and updates within the Quant ecosystem. And here you can choose to deploy specific tokens under the QRC20 or QRC721 standards, or dApps on the Polygon or Avalanche testnet. But if you'd like to upgrade into an official overledger license, there's multiple service packages you can choose from depending on the scale of your needs. You can choose to pay as you go or an annual subscription, while also choosing to pay in QNT or fiat. But if you understand the QNT token, you'd realize everything gets converted to QNT in the end. And just based on these prices for the services and the QNT amounts, we can see with 10,000 subscriptions to the lowest tier plan, that'll equal 15% of the total QNT supply. Quant Network has officially opened their core solution overledger to the public. The best part is we can now see the utility of the QNT token. And
All right, come back into the frame. So my thing is this, when we consistently have said, eventually we're going to get priced out of Quant, like that was just 1 minute. But I mean, that's, in my opinion, a perfect example. There's a lot more to it and so on. And of course, I provided more of my own take, introduce a particular person from IBM that you want to pay attention to. We'll be so glad when I can relist that, but maybe by that time it'll be considered old news, and it's one of those things. But this will be the second time now, technically, that I wasn't able to list something I put a lot of time into. One was XRP, the X-Files. Remember the whole thing with the sneakers movie? Shared on crypto Twitter. It was literally like not even crickets. It was like I just, I dropped a bomb in where? A ghost town, right? Like nobody cared. I know with QNT is a little bit different, but yeah, we'll have to see what happens with it. There's a little bit more, obviously, that we have. Let's get into that. We're going to actually now jump into Ripple's XRP. So smash that like for Ripple's XRP. This comes from Cypress Domanicore, great content creator. I know a lot of you guys follow him. You can follow him on @CDomanicore on crypto Twitter. Also, of course, he has his own YouTube channel, which is, I believe, Cypress Superior Trading. I want to show you guys this. He does a great breakdown in under 5 minutes. This is 4 minutes, actually. He says, the least tell you before they do something in plain sight. When it's systematically important people speak, you should listen. Yeah, they are the ones who run the show after all. Again, guys, what is the key topic for today's show? I think it's institutional money, right? Institutions all the way. So let's play yet another example of how I feel as though the narrative is shifting when it comes to crypto, blockchain, DLT, and so on. Please smash that like. Here we go. We'll be back in about 4 minutes.
Okay, let me blow everybody's mind to you all real fast. Pay attention, devil's in the details, proving to you all that digital assets that provide real-world utility will survive this purge, as confirmed by these elite market participants that are systematically important. This gentleman right here, on May 30th, 2023, who is it? Tom Z, Chief Innovation Officer at Swift. That is going to play a majorly important role. Listen to what he has to say real fast. Sorry about the audio. Pay attention.
We really tried to figure out how we can help. We decided to focus our efforts on interoperability and the interlinking between the existing payment rails that we have today and the new evolving digital asset networks that will be coming with the launch of the CBDCs.
Digital asset networks that will be coming with the launch of the CBDCs. Okay, that's one. Remember, this gentleman's from Swift. That's going to play an important role. This lady right here is the executive director of the Digital Dollar Project. Listen to what she has to say about CBDCs and cryptocurrencies, specifically cryptocurrencies. The vocabulary matters. Listen to what she has to say. This is, again, only from 4 months ago.
They're also outcome driven. And if they decide to, what are the design choices they're making so that those CBDCs are interoperable with stable coins, with cryptocurrencies, with the multitude of wallets that they will.
Again, lady from the Digital Dollar Project, interoperable with cryptocurrencies, CBDCs with cryptocurrencies, devil's in the details. So now you have Swift confirming. You have Digital Dollar Project, who's directly connected to the Federal Reserve, confirming. Now here we have the Atlanta Fed. This is from 6 months ago. Payments word of the year, talking about where their attention was. And you can see the word interoperability right there. But I want you all to pay close attention to what they say here at roughly about 25 minutes. Listen closely.
The Federal Reserve System partnered with the Business Payments Coalition to address the barriers to electronic payment adoption.
So she literally just confirmed, again, a representative from the Atlanta Fed, that the Federal Reserve joined the Business Payments Coalition. Well, would you look at that? Back in 2018, Ripple's director of corporate payments highlighted blockchain use cases during a webinar hosted by the Business Payments Coalition. What did they talk about? It says right here, especially in relation to its promise to enhance business operations and speed in payments, Director, Receivable, Savvy, and Chair of the Vendor Forum, with an increase in news about the benefits of blockchain, Ryan Gaylor will help us cut through the hype and focus on real use case. What did he present to the Business Payments Coalition? Well, if you scroll all the way up here, you can see Business Payments Coalition Vendor Forum, 2018, Ryan Galler. Remember, the Federal Reserve was sitting in on this whole entire thing. Look at this, SWIFT right here. Did we not just confirm this gentleman from SWIFT say digital asset networks will be coming, right? Will be coming. Look at this. Please tell me what you see. Liquidity provider. On-demand liquidity. What symbol is that right there? You cannot make this stuff up. And what did we just get confirmation? June 2023. Crypto surges after Powell, Federal Reserve, says it has staying power as an asset class. This is all by design. You all need to pay attention to detail. The whole entire infrastructure is transforming behind the scenes right now, and they're playing people.
So do you guys still feel as though they're playing people, or basically that, you know, the times of playing everybody is, I don't know, over with, that they, you know, decided to finally, I guess you could say, be on board? Or have they always been on board? They just wanted to, you know, like rug us all to a sense and just keep acquiring more of this at distressed prices, or I don't know, all of the above. We're going to show you guys a little bit more of what we have. And I think the next one is a little bit more in regards to XRP. It is. So let's get into this. This comes from Riz. Gary Gensler resigned, aka Riz XRP, right? I mean, who doesn't know about Riz XRP on crypto Twitter? You probably should know about him by now. Great content creator. Consistently just, you know, that's the whole thing. He's just consistent. So he posted this earlier. I'll come back into the frame. Ripple starts platform for CBDC, right? We talked obviously about Quant before, you know, okay, what about Ripple? Well, what about it? So, you know, CoinDesk has this little piece on it and so on. But we're going to play this little quick clip. We'll show you just a little bit in regards to some of the examples that Riz has for you. But yeah, let's jump into this because, you know, it's definitely worth paying attention to. Here we go.
My immediate reaction is I think there's some more education needed in the marketplace. I think there's a lot of discussion around a CBDC, what it is, what it isn't. You know, is it the government going to be spying on citizens? All this kind of thing. So I think there's a education required. At the end of the day, you know, I think the federal government, you know, trumps state governments in this. But I think really, I don't think the citizens have anything to be concerned about. You know, CBDC is a digital representation of fiat currency. It's likely to get implemented in pretty much every country around the world. It's coming. There are going to be some great advantages to it, great use cases that will, you know, people will get benefit from. So I see news like that. I think, okay, well, this will probably disappear when people get a bit smarter, a bit more educated about what's really going to happen. My immediate reaction.
All right. So I like how he says, you know, his immediate reaction is that some more education basically needs to happen, you know, like even for us, right? Like, you know, paying attention to like what is going on, especially with that institutional money. Where are they parking some of these things, you know? So we do have a little bit more Ripple XRP for you. I'm going to jump into this. And I showed you guys that clip. Let's jump actually into the thread for just a brief moment. So let's pull this up. And this actually is referenced straight from Ripple. Okay. So let's take a little bit of a deep dive, not super, super deep, like, you know, an hour. But it says the adoption of CBDCs continues to grow, with many of the world's largest central banks planning to pilot and launch their own digital currencies to complement existing fiat currencies. I mean, technically, you could throw in Stellar into the mix. You could throw, obviously Quant with LackChain and, the digital pound, some verification of, Bank of England, Bank of International Settlements. I mean, all of it's really huge. But again, the key thing is institutional money. The narrative is shifting, and, like what was also mentioned in regards to Jerome Powell from, Cyprus to Manticore and so on. So here's some examples, right? So in this, again, comes straight from Ripple. So it's definitely worth paying attention to. So the Central Bank of Montenegro, right? They posted this on June 22nd, which was yesterday. Recently revealed a pilot project for CBDC with Ripple. Were you aware of that, right? Centralna Banka Orne Core or something like that. Ripple to help, Montenegro launch a CBDC. Okay, a little bit more in regards to this. We have seen this, you guys watch Crypto Hulk, for instance. So, I remember when Hulk was talking about in Brazil, the central bank has announced its plans to launch a CBDC in 2024. Do you guys remember the whole thing in Australia not that long ago as well? I covered it here. I think that was my last Ripple XRP video. I mean, I don't know, with our Ripple videos, like, it's kind of hit or miss. Sometimes they do really well, and sometimes it's just kind of a saturated market for content creators, but it is what it is. We're still going to cover it. At this point, the Digital Currency Monetary Authority has announced the Universal Monetary Unit, which is called UMU, a digital coin designed to accelerate cross-border transactions. On top of this, these examples demonstrate the future of money is digital. Remember, you don't remember because it was in the video. I won't spill the beans too much, but Tim Shea, who watched the video, he knows what I'm talking about. Gilbert Verdian literally talking about, going, the shift, if you will. I'm not going to mention too much more. Anyway, discover how the transformation from fiat to digital offers lower costs for basic financial services, increased security, accelerate payments, and reduce energy consumption. What does this all spell without actually saying it? The quantum financial system. So we talk about ISO 222 and how much of it's a big deal to have that fully implemented, apparently by the end of 2025. That's still valid. That's still important. My God, I don't know if you guys seen some of the stuff I saw recently, not necessarily like yesterday or anything, but like about a week or two ago. This guy was just going on a rant, not on crypto Twitter, but on Reddit, saying, all the fanboys of all these cryptos are ISO. Look how that turned out. And then one guy did point out, okay, well, what about XDC? When people don't do any of their own research, they make comments like that. He point out, like, it has nothing to do with crypto. It's like, it has everything to do with crypto. And this guy pointed out, like, if it had everything to do with crypto, you would have saw, major pumps. But understand this, when you see this statement of how, right here, discover how the transformation from fiat to digital offers lower costs for basic financial services, increase security and accelerate payments, and reduce energy consumption. Number one, I am thinking of the QFS, the quantum financial system. I'm also thinking of things that are part of that, right? The ISO 222 messaging standard, because for the simple reason of, like, for instance, Swift being on the old messaging system, which is the MT messaging system. A lot slower, all dates all the way back to the 1970s. We have had examples of you're going to move $10 billion cross borders or overseas. You're going to get hit with what, guys? Do you remember the number? Yeah, I still remember it. $60 billion in fees. So that does not incentivize what? It doesn't incentivize banks, the institutional money, to do anything. Right? If anything, they're going to run away with it. And as a result, we've seen this be a reflection of, well, you don't see institutional money coming in and so on. So then what do we do as retail? Well, retail, all right, well, let's check out the next pump and dump, meme token type thing. I want to feel good. You know what I mean? So they give us our little, little thing that we do, and we make a little bit of money. And some of us make some and some of us don't. And a lot of us chase after all these meme coins, and it's like a scratch it. You might get one lucky one, and then I'm going to keep getting more and more and more. That's just my opinion. I do give a shout out to this guy once again. I think you killed it with that. All right. I give credit where credit's due. But my thing is this. All right. Once this is fully implemented, especially with ISO 222, and you're now starting to see the narrative shift where I mean, guys, this is more than just hints of what institutional money is doing at this point. You know, we talk about the utility run. Well, it's got to run. Well, all right. So, like in any race, you got to have some people that are willing to be part of this race. So, a big thing is obviously, BlackRock, Coinbase, ETF application. Let's bring you guys to this real quick. I know there's a little bit more in regards to this article. Actually, that was the bottom part. I saw somebody in the comments mention this, and they're right. Right, this comes from Crypto World. Gilbert Verdian was recently on Crypto World. What, over a month ago? Remember that deep dive video we did with that? Actually, it was like 2 months ago. So, Crypto World, Friday, June 23rd, today. Right, congratulations, making it to the best day of the week, Friday. Right, smash that like for Friday. So, Friday, June 23rd, today. But we're gonna watch this video. But before we do, we did see BTC cross that 31K mark, right? And Supreme Court ruled in favor of Coinbase in dispute, CNBC Crypto World Report. This is mainstream, right? We always talk about, the community-driven news. We will point out mainstream news. And again, perfect example of how mainstream news only reports on 3 narratives: massive things going on with crypto, crashes, or I don't know, some of the bad players, right? I give them credit on this. Maybe this is the 4th thing. So CNBC Crypto World features the latest news and so on, right? We know that. I guess this is all they have in regards to the description, but that was a nice headline. Where was it? Right here. Yeah. Okay. So let's get into this. So we're going to play this, and let's go ahead and do it right now. Let me see how long this is real quick.
Today.
Yeah, this is not super long. I'll probably pause it at the 6-minute mark and see how things are going, and then from there we'll get back into it. So here we go.
Bitcoin rises again, crossing the $31,000 mark to end the week. JP Morgan is expanding its blockchain-based payment rail to include euro payment transactions. And CoinDesk's Michael Casey breaks down crypto's biggest challenges in 2023. Welcome to CNBC's Crypto World. I'm Tanea McKeel. Crypto prices continued to rally to end the week. As of noon Eastern, Bitcoin climbed above the $31,000 level, at one point hitting its highest level in more than a year. Ether crossed the $1,900 level, and Solana rose slightly, trading at nearly $17. Bitcoin and Ether are on pace for a winning week, building on gains driven by institutional interest in the future of crypto. Okay, let's take a look at what's making headlines. Today, the U.S. Supreme Court backed Coinbase's bid to halt customer lawsuits. This comes as Coinbase pursues appeals aimed at moving the disputes out of courts and into private arbitration. Companies usually prefer to arbitrate claims because the process is cheaper and faster than litigation in court. In a 5-4 decision, the justices overturned a lower court's ruling involving a user who sued after a scammer stole money from his account. The lower court had let a proposed class action lawsuit proceed while Coinbase pressed its appeal, arguing that the claims belong in arbitration. The justices dismissed a second case that Coinbase had asked it to review. Next, Alameda Research, the crypto hedge fund associated with the now bankrupt exchange FTX, is seeking the return of hundreds of millions of dollars founder Sam Bankman-Fried appears to have paid for access to celebrities and politicians. On Thursday, FTX sued a former aide to Hillary Clinton and his investment firm, K5, as well as others, seeking to claw back $700 million in investments allegedly made with misappropriated FTX funds. In this court filing, lawyers for FTX's new management argued that the money promised to, quote, super networker Michael Kives, who's also a former Hollywood agent, shows SBF's disregard for formalities and spending money from companies he treated as a slush fund. We reached out to K5 for comment, and a spokesperson said that the investment firm was under the impression that SBF was completely legitimate and that they were entering into a fair, long-term, and mutually beneficial business relationship. SBF has pleaded not guilty to charges alleging that he defrauded FTX customers. Finally, JP Morgan confirmed to us that the financial institution is expanding its blockchain-based payment rail to include euro payment transactions. The system allows JP Morgan's institutional clients to make wholesale payments between accounts globally using the technology as rails. JPM Coin went live with euro payments on Wednesday. A spokesperson for the bank confirmed that since its inception in 2019, more than $300 billion in transactions have been processed using the payment rail. All right, on to our main story. CoinDesk released a comprehensive report outlining obstacles facing the crypto industry this month. It's based on conversations at one of the largest crypto conferences in the world, its own Consensus 2023. Michael Casey, who was involved in producing the report, spoke with Crypto World's Talia Kaplan to break down the findings.
You're one of the drivers behind the first ever Consensus at Consensus report. It's an 83-page report, and it covers some of the most pressing challenges in crypto, including regulation and privacy. And we're going to talk more about those topics in a second. But first, I want to point out that the report is based on data compiled during the Consensus Crypto Conference that was back in April. And I want to start off by asking you about the data gathering process. What exactly did it entail? I understand conversations were involved in that process.
Yeah, I'm glad you're asking about the data gathering because it's actually one of the most important elements of what we're doing here. So CoinDesk puts on a conference every year. It's called Consensus. We think of it the gathering of the tribes. It's this sort of big tent event of the crypto calendar, bringing everybody from a whole host of different protocols. It brings developers and investors and regulators and a full rainbow, if you like, of different stakeholders in this particular industry. And okay, what do we want to do out of that? Well, we thought, look, there's these huge pressing issues that constantly are there, unresolved within the space. Some of them deal with regulation, some of them deal with how to scale the technology, some of them deal with like what is the optimal use of custodial wallets and privacy and these big questions. And they constantly have sort of different interests and different challenges coming up against them. So we thought, we want to put people in a room who have these different perspectives and like have them duke it out, if you like, and try to figure out what a convenient path forward might be. What are the problems to be solved? What are the kind of solutions that are out there, and what compromises might be made? Because if you're talking about things like how do you reconcile, law enforcement's demand for, preventing criminality and protecting the financial system from bad actors against the very important need for privacy in this space, where is the middle ground? Are there solutions that can keep both sides happy? So that's the concept we were coming up with. For each of these 11 topics we went with, let's put people together and see if we can talk through these issues, leveraging, if you like, the unique status that Consensus is. And that's why we're calling it the Consensus at Consensus report.
I want to point out I actually was at Consensus myself, and you're spot on. Certainly, there were people from all walks of the industry, including government officials, regulators, lawmakers, executives, you name it. But I'm wondering, when you were in fact gathering information at the conference, what jumped out most to you, and why did you feel it's important to put it in the report?
Yeah, look, I think because part of the gathering process as well, I should add, involved us polling the audience, right? We really needed to get the input from everybody, not just these people participating in these events who were sort of selected, but also the broader group. And we did some surveys and some polls, and it was the thing that, of course, was just most striking was just.
We're going to play the rest of this. Shout out to Eva Savaju and this particular lady. Yeah. All right, here we go.
How urgent people felt the need for some sort of regulatory solution was. This was coming as the, let's call it the crackdown, the US crackdown on crypto was really starting to take shape. It preceded the lawsuits that have really attracted everybody's attention these past couple of weeks, but it certainly was already a very hot topic. And we found that, people really saw this as a challenge for the United States, that the question of whether or not the US can or should lead crypto regulation and therefore ultimately development of crypto itself was up for grabs. That it was vital that this be resolved, otherwise companies could be sort of leaving the United States and going elsewhere, and that the uncertainty around it was causing a significant amount of angst and holding things back, essentially.
I want to take a step back, if you don't mind. Chapter 1 is titled Crypto's Image Problem, essentially acknowledging that the industry's reputation took a hit following last year's scandals. Now, the report notes that one way to overcome this, quote, image problem is through transparency. Specifically, the report says crypto projects should plainly state how their products are useful. What are some of the other ways crypto can move past this?
At the end of the day, people feel like it's education. It is being clear about use cases. Don't worry, don't get hung up on images and words necessarily, but try to like deliver very clear articulations about why this industry is important. And in doing so, getting away from, I suppose, the idea that it's about speculation, that this is really not about token casinos and the price going up, but like bringing home the story that there are sort of fundamental, uses and values in creating these decentralized networks.
The report notes that the crypto industry as a whole has responded poorly to the regulatory shift toward aggressive enforcement. There was an interesting survey in your report, actually, which showed that 45% of respondents thought the US approach to regulating crypto is driving innovation offshore. Meanwhile, only 13% thought the approach was actually working to crack down on bad actors. So, based on the research and conversations at Consensus, what would you say are the solutions there?
I mean, really, in many ways, it's just a lack of clarity. Like people critique the SEC for conducting regulation through enforcement, which is a piecemeal approach, they would say, to establishing what the ground rules are. The SEC, of course, comes back and says the rules are very clear. We have the Howey test. It's some things are a security, others not. Most tokens are securities in the eyes of Gary Gensler, et cetera, et cetera. But I think from the industry's perspective, and to be fair, a lot of those respondents are literally, crypto participants. They see no clarity. They look for legislation. They look for some of the things that's happened in these other jurisdictions, which have made much clearer definitions about what is a digital asset. What constitutes, a sufficient level of decentralization, for example. And really how it should be regulated with regards to consumer interests and investor interests and so forth. That there's a real sense that the United States, which has had a number of efforts to put forward comprehensive legislation in this, but hasn't succeeded in any of them, is really still just very vague in terms of what the law is. So it's that lack of clarity that I think is making people feel like, all right, I'm out of here. And as well, I would argue, clearly some of the sort of tougher enforcement actions that have been taken, but there's no doubt that you're seeing significant number of quite large and significant crypto companies at least think and talk, if not act upon the idea of shifting their operations overseas as a result of this.
And certainly Coinbase is one example of that. But I want to end off by asking you about some recent developments in crypto. BlackRock, the largest asset manager in the world, filed for a spot Bitcoin ETF, signaling that it sees a place for the cryptocurrency in an investment portfolio. The move opened the door for other institutions like WisdomTree and Invesco to follow. And this week, the crypto exchange backed by Charles Schwab, Fidelity, and Citadel officially launched trading in 4 crypto assets, including Bitcoin and Ether. All of this is happening as the SEC continues its crackdown on the industry. So, what do you think these moves by major financial institutions signify, especially amid that backdrop?
And I think that's probably one of the reasons why you've seen a phenomenal rally in the price of Bitcoin these last few days, is that, would BlackRock do this without some sort of confidence that they're actually going to get it through this time? Which begs the question, how on earth can they be so confident when the SEC is being so hard line? And there's a couple of ways to look at this. One is that it seems pretty clear, whether they like it or not, that the SEC cannot treat Bitcoin as a security. It's got the green light. It's already been treated as a commodity by the CFTC, and this is a horse that has already bolted. There's no way they can wrap this thing up and go after any players involved in it. So, there is some sense, if you like, that the way that this has been handled is an indirect way of saying Bitcoin's fine, and therefore let's lodge this ETF. I think the other one, though, is that the SEC's take here is not cut and dry. The SEC is not a monolith here, right? You've got clearly the House, the Republicans in the House, taking a very, very different position on their view on crypto, and you've got all these other sort of forces at work that could really challenge this position that the SEC has taken, this hardline position. So, in the light of that, I see all of this as part of the big battle.
Okay, that's all for Crypto World this week, but we'll be back again on Monday, so we'll see you then.
All right. So, I've been looking at the comments and I didn't realize that I'm like an hour away from the comments. My God. Oh, I apologize. Sometimes I get really into some of the material. We're going to kick it into quite a few comments for a bit, right? So, but guys, at the end of the day, again, the main topic for the show should be institutional money. At least that's my key takeaway. Or the shift, right? We talk about the flip of the switch. Well, flip of the switch, has to have some kind of shift. The narrative has to go a different way. All right, let me see what we have in the comments. We got Crypto Smooth. He's talking to Tim Shea. KK is gonna pick up more Caspa. I just need to get a bag of it, period, let alone get more of it. Cash Cast says Blackwood SHIB's contract has been renounced. And I think that is the term. SHIB devs can't change any code on how SHIB is. So to do other things, you create other tokens. Bone is going to be be big, I guess. Okay. Let me go further down. Cash Cats, again, welcome. McQuant, wish it would have dipped like your JASMY. Your hand is positioned weird on the keyboard, or you're using your phone. That's okay. Aussie Life, you had to go to do some work. Have you missed the QNT part yet? You did, but there wasn't a lot. It was regards to tokenizer, and it was only like a minute. So, and the reason why I didn't do a lot of quant coverage, you got to keep in mind, I did a lot of quant coverage in the form of a recorded video, and then I was rugged by GV and Andrew Carrier, but it's okay, for the greater good, right? KK, right, Max, just play the smart coins and relax and then stack. We should all stack. Not financial advice, but that's you guys do what you do, obviously. You wish QNT dipped as well. Can we not get excited? And then he drinks, of course, water, which is fine. I probably should drink more water too. 2 million. Man, these are old comments. I could tell right now because this is when we're talking about JASMY. I'm gonna go further down, way down. Try to catch up somehow. Wow, you guys got some great comments there. Wow. Anyone doing Ant Deep Doze? Best get. What the heck is that? All right. Sumo Fud. This was probably about an hour ago, almost an hour ago. Welcome, Sumo Fud. Glad to have you, Mr. Sumo Fud. All right. Here's the thing. I want to mention this. I don't know if you're still here, Sumo Fud. I remember it might have been maybe late April or early May of last year. There was this guy, his name is Samer. He'd always give crap to Larry. I mean, really bad. He was always really disrespectful. But I remember when you used to have your metaverse style avatar, your classic one, and that guy Samer was giving you crap. He was just like, "Oh yeah, Selmo FUD, huh? Well, you just take he was like, you take such and such," and you might have left by that point, but he's just like, you go and shill your FUD somewhere else or something. I don't know. It was funny stuff back then. Wonder what happened to that guy. Anyway, funny stuff. It's just like, and he was calling you like a kid, and it's just like, he's not a kid. Anyway, Brian Dow, you make good points, Larry. All right, let's go further down. Well, you know what? You guys can unleash these feelings tomorrow for, was it Crypto and Chill with Larry, aka Ukrainian dating advice from the one only Larry. Will he wear a very sexy outfit with his top part unbuttoned, showing off his chest hair? I don't know. Maybe he will do it for his girlfriend. No homo. So anyway, All right, Blackwood says overledger is supposed to be released on the 27th this month. QNT team had a delisted video about it that they pulled from YouTube. Yes, yeah, I know. I have that video. I have it on my computer as we speak, but and I rendered it to make it a nice video, and it was a nice deep dive. And then I was just like, this is like probably the best ones I've ever done. And yeah, I gotta stop talking about it. Cash Cats, overledger going to be available for the public. It just gets more bullish. Yeah. Good point. We'll read a few more comments because you guys deserve to have some of your comments read, right? Especially after an hour of what do you guys call me? Filipino Ice Cube. Yeah, after an hour of Filipino Ice Cube. I wish I was a Filipino Ice Cube. I'm just, in reality, I'm not. I'm more like a think about it. Filipino Ice Cube. What do we know about the movie Boys in the Hood? We know that Ice Cube played one of the lead characters. And what was that character's name? His name was Doughboy, right? A little known fact, he has the D on his hat. It's not Detroit Tigers. It's represent that he is Doughboy. So if I'm Filipino Ice Cube, because you guys referenced this, am I Filipino Doughboy? I see what's going on. My dad's right. I should have never trimmed my beard too far back. It does accentuate my fat face. And I am now Filipino Ice Cube. Filipino Doughboy. My God. All right. Open mind. Welcome back. Man, I haven't seen open mind for the longest time. Everybody should be open-minded, especially when it comes to distributed ledger technologies. Legrand Commission. Welcome back, Mr. Legrand Commission. Hi, Max. I hope you are feeling better. Well, merci beaucoup. I am feeling better. Otherwise, why would they do the whole, Legrand Commission? Oui. I hope that you're doing well. All right. Stardog, I got the magic. I remember that song by, Mr. 50 Cent, featuring Lil' Kim. Yeah, I remember that back in the old days. You could rug once, you could run twice. I got the magic dip. I'm going to make this community bleed twice. My name is the Phantom Project. You're going to raise a bunch of ETH. I'm going to rug the community. And they're not going to know who I be. Never mind. I know it sounds bad. Stardog, great song that is, Larry. It is. JC the man with the master plan to call him Josh Cornwell Man, and I think you better recognize. Oh, Josh, hurry up. You won't believe it. Max is on TV, and he's talking to me. Oh, honey, Mike Cornwell. What's going on? I'm trying to sell this thing. Max is on the television. He's referencing our son, Josh Cornwell. Oh, my gosh. Yes, JC the man. Go follow JC the man. Give him some subs. Yes, shout out to JC the man. Yes, it just went crazy right there. Thank you for joining us, Josh Cornwell. Here's a dab. You want to dab me in the virtual metaverse? Let's do a dab. Ready? 1, 2, 3, Josh. Boom. All right. You're a good kid. All right. Let's go further down. Hit the like for Max Shaw and JC the man. Boom. All right. Michael Montclair, I'm a picture book kind of guy. There's nothing wrong with picture books. I used to love opening those things up, and I had a picture book of Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom, and that was one of the coolest ones ever. You have Indy, and then you have what's her face with the big boobs that was married to Steven Spielberg, I forgot her name, and then you had, of course, Short Round, and then it was the part where they're literally on that little mining cart, like a roller coaster. And as a kid, you open that up, you're like, this is the coolest thing ever. Anyway. All right, let's see here. Larry will give you guys all a heads up on all his advice tomorrow in regards to, like, the show won't even be crypto talk now. Let's just be honest. It's going to be, reading 100 cryptos from beginning to end of the top 100, maybe like, I don't know. His show might be an hour if we're lucky. No offense. And out of that hour, maybe 5 minutes of actual crypto, and then the rest of the time will be something about Ukraine. Let's just be honest. And then, yeah, it is what it is. All right, Coochie Boy. Bone is the gas for Shibarium. Shit is the voting DAO for the ecosystem. Leash is for staking. Well, you're right about that. But I love the breakdown straight from the book. You know, I don't know if Boomer F and Sooner is here. I forgot to say hello to Boomer F and Sooner earlier. You know, yeah, Max. Only an hour or 2 hours and 4 minutes later. Yeah, shout out to the only Mr. Boomer F and Sooner. I want to state this, okay, and that basically is, that the big-breasted women are from Ukraine. Apparently, I don't know where I was going with that, but I wanted to give a shout out to Boomer F and Sooner. All right, Larry, all you need is Chinese female roommate that gives happy. Yeah. All right. Wow. All right. Let me get back to what I have. So we have on the last part of our coverage, because it's not going to be WrestleMania. Sorry, Stardog. You know, some people ask me, Max, is it going to be WrestleMania? Well, no, it's not going to be WrestleMania. But we're going to finish it out on what? We're going to finish it out on Stellar. All right, let's jump into it. Pull up some banners for the heck of it. Why not? All right. So we have some things for you guys, and this comes from alp.web3. I know some people are like, I knew he was going to say Alp. He always covers Alp's material. Well, he covers XLM almost every day. Why shouldn't I? So let's come back into the frame. And here it is. Let's start things off. So last time I did a somewhat of a deep dive. You guys saw the video earlier today. I was hoping to have 2 great videos out today. The Stellar one was good, but it wasn't like super alpha or anything like that, right? But the key thing was I wanted 2 videos out today. So that didn't happen. Unfortunately, didn't happen. And, it's like, what can you do about it, right? So, I saw this, and let me just highlight one of these comments real quick as a bookmark so I don't lose my spot. Hold on a second. There we go. So yes, Stellar gave you guys the MoneyGram update. I done a live. I also put it into recorded video. But here's some of the latest. Okay, so let's jump into this for a moment, right? Alp has this: how Stellar's changed the world with fast, cheap, and inclusive network. Now, for the most part, we already know about some of this. So it's like, preaching to the choir, Max. Well, not exactly. So it says Stellar is a network that lets you send and receive money across the world fast and cheap. It is created in 2014 by Jeb McCaleb, who also co-founded Ripple, and of course, Mt. Gox. There's some things in regards to their goals and so on. But one thing I do like that's mentioned here, because, you guys were talking about staking, I believe, earlier, or somebody did that actually wasn't here on the live. It was on recorded video. What about Quant with staking? Well, this is Stellar. So look at this. Stellar's currency, as we know, called Stellar Lumens, XLM, is used to pay for transactions and to exchange different currencies on the network. There are 50 billion XLM in circulation with a fixed inflation rate of 1% per year. Now, that's not staking, but I want to point out something that a lot of people may or may not be or realize, right? When it comes to XLM, they have basically like half of a supply of Ripple, right? So these are positive things for Stellar. Stellar's network uses a consensus algorithm called the Stellar Consensus Protocol, SCP, and that is a type of federated Byzantine agreement. SCP allows nodes to agree without depending on a central authority or a fixed group of validators. A little bit more in regards to this, Stellar's network has attracted many partners and projects from different sectors. And of course, here's one that we always should point out, in my opinion, is IBM, right? So on the Quant video that unfortunately had to get delisted, I pointed out some of the IBM connections. But IBM, for all the people that are complaining about it, they definitely have made their mark when it comes to blockchain, right? BSV, Casper, Governing Council of Hedera, partnership, not directly with Quant, but a key partnership with who? Nexi Group, and of course, we understand how big of a partner Nexi Group is, of course, with Quant. I'm going to go a little bit further down. Stellar's network is always evolving, innovating with new features and upgrades being added regularly. Hence why we gave you guys, for instance, the MoneyGram update, right? Last but not least, Stellar Network is one of the most promising and impactful projects in the crypto space. I feel as though it is, with a vision to create more fair, efficient global financial system, has a strong community of supporters, developers, and users who believe in its potential. Like this says, how is Stellar changing the world with this fast, cheap, and inclusive network? Many different ways. The on-ramping, you don't have to have a bank account. You can send money super fast at almost virtually no fees, overseas and so on. I mean, many different use cases and building out an ecosystem. So recently speaking, there was some very bullish info that was shared from the lovely Danelle Dixon, who I know a lot of you guys are fans of. You guys point out certain things about the lady. That's okay. Nothing wrong with that. But check out what it says. And she posted this 9 hours ago. Starting today, Coinbase, remember how we talked about Coinbase earlier with BlackRock ETF, application and so on. Coinbase now fully supports Circle's USDC via the Stellar network. Millions of customers, both institutional, remember I talked about the narrative of the day, or the main talk of, is the institutional money. Here's another example. Both institutional and retail can now access a global digital dollar. Yeah, great stuff, right? Smash that like. We're going to get a little bit more into this. So, posted 9 hours ago, straight from the Stellar, I believe the foundation, but it's the Stellar org. USDC on Stellar is now officially supported, like she mentioned, right? Coinbase, millions of users, right? She just basically recorded that. This guy says something big is coming for, XLM, but there's more to it than this. And we're going to jump into this as well. So it states right here, again, for Crypto Twitter, hats off to the Circle team for the well-deserved recognition. Building Stellar Assist has been a remarkable and humbling journey. What day is it today? The 23rd. So 2 days ago. This is bullish in itself because, who doesn't want to get listened to time? I mean, some people have been like, they don't like time being examined, but still, it's a positive catalyst. So I'm going to take you guys to here. And this is from Jeremy Allaire, and he is basically the co-founder and CEO of Circle, as in USDC. So he states that he's proud that Circle was named in the Time 100 Most Influential Companies in 2023, highlighting their work with the UNHCR in delivering basically, USDC Circle stablecoin digital cash to Ukrainian war refugees. I know there's a lot of mixed reactions on the whole thing in regards to that, but it's worthy news to share. But it says, find out why Circle Internet Financial is on the list. Now, I do want to find this out because, my thing is I want to be invested in that institutional money, and I want to find out why there's all of a sudden this is trending. We talk about certain cryptocurrencies trending, like meme tokens. Let's face it. Let's just be honest about that. But why is all these big institutional like investment groups and so on, or some of these ones trying to get on, blockchain or come into it, or applying for a Coinbase ETF, you name it, right? Institutional money definitely hit headlines today and throughout the week, right? I think it's worth, somewhat taking a deep dive into. So I'm gonna blow this up a little bit. Like I mentioned, the Stellar coverage will wrap things up here in a bit, but Circle Internet Financial, redeeming crypto. Look at what it says, solving real world problems. And I want to jump down to this real quick. So, this right here says, pegged to the US dollar, USDC, as we know, is a stablecoin intended for reliable digital use. The $30 billion USDC in circulation is backed by real dollars. Circle is or has been in regulated U.S. financial institutions. In contrast to the more volatile crypto norm, the firm's big goal, and listen to this big goal, it says to make transfers via blockchain as hassle-free as, like, for instance, like how we send email. Like, there's a reason why the traditional old email or old mail system, the postal service is called snail mail. Are we going to continue to send money cross-border or overseas and so on? With it says snail mail, but the old Swiss snail system, you could call it that, right? Here's this quote: "We like to say we are boring, but boring turns out to be great business," says CEO and founder Jeremy Allaire. So of course there's a lot of things that are posted here. If you want the full story, you got to get into the I guess you could say subscribe to Time Magazine. But what I'm going to bring you now to is the actual interview. Not so much with that person from Circle, but from this guy. And the other day we shared this with you, and it is from a little bit more of Luther Madej, and he is the big head honcho from MoneyGram. Okay, so it says celebrating an amazing year of cash to crypto ramps with MoneyGram. I'm gonna play just a little bit in regards to this, not the whole thing, because it's like over 23 minutes, but this made recent news. This is Lauren Thorbjørnsen, who I think Cool Cat Crypto said that he kind of liked her looks or something a while back, and Luther Madej, all right, of MoneyGram. Smash that like. Here we go.
Hello, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us today on this LinkedIn Live. We are so excited to be celebrating the 1 year of Cash to Crypto Ramps with MoneyGram. I'm Lauren Thorbjørnsen. I'm the Chief of Staff at the Stellar Development Foundation. And I am joined by Luther Madej, who is the Head of Innovation at MoneyGram. You probably all know MoneyGram, hundreds of thousands of locations around the world, present in almost every country. But Luther, you probably need no introduction, but can you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Yeah, Lauren, super excited to be here. Luther Madej, Head of FinTech Strategy and Innovation here at MoneyGram.
Thank you so much. We're so happy that you're here. And just so everyone knows, we're streaming on LinkedIn and Twitter, and we'll leave some time at the end for audience Q&A. And if you have a question, you can submit it on LinkedIn, and we'll get to as many as we can. So Luther, it's hard to believe it has been a year since we rolled out this first of its kind global ramp on Stellar, first bridging cash to crypto. I think that concept maybe is still a little foreign to some people, particularly who are in the crypto space. So for anyone who isn't familiar, maybe you could share with us a quick recap of what the solution is and why it was built.
Absolutely. It is hard to believe that it's been 12 months since we launched this amazing project. One of the things that me and my team do here at MoneyGram, being the fintech and strategy innovation side, we get to work on some amazing strategic partnerships. And one of our largest strategic partnership today is with the Stellar Development Foundation. I'd like to take us back to the genesis of where we started here, right? When we first started this partnership, there was a very interesting study that showed that there was about 1.4 billion people worldwide that were either unbanked or. And then the other interesting stat is that nearly 60% of the world's working adult population still operates in cash. So if you kind of take those two metrics together and then you look at digital assets and blockchain, there's a little bit of like a gap there, right? Like, so if you look at most of the ways that you can interact with blockchain or a digital asset is usually through something that's like a credit card or a debit card, which means that the 60% of the world's population that was operating in cash, or these people, they really didn't have a really easy way to start taking part in this digital economy. And I think that for people that maybe didn't catch that, like we're missing out on a huge part of the world's population not being able to participate in something that folks like us deal with and talk about, get excited about every day. And that was a very interesting need that I think this partnership uncovered. And so it was really that need is what we're addressing today, right? So the partnership is this. With the partnership between Stellar Development Foundation and MoneyGram allows for any wallet that's on the Stellar blockchain to be able to on-ramp. So go from fiat into USDC, or go from USDC into fiat, in 170 plus countries. And that's for us. And I think the combination of what we're doing today, it's super exciting to know that that can be done today across the globe. And the beauty of it is like the transaction starts within the wallet itself. And so the consumer or the user that's using the wallet is operating from a familiar space that they know that they've been using for a while. And the addition of MoneyGram as an on and off ramp gives them the ability to cross that last mile and be able to use USDC on a day in, day out basis to buy things like a loaf of bread.
It's pretty incredible. And, it's this like new access point and, just like you were saying, this way to get into the digital economy for people who maybe have not been able to access it. And I think that's a really powerful thing that, we've been working on. It's not always obviously been easy, but I do remember when it went live last year in Austin, right before Consensus. And, Danelle and I talk about this sometimes, like it was me and her and some folks from your team who are in a CVS and testing it out, making sure it all worked. It was a really exciting moment, I think, for all of us to really bring this live and bring this to market and, hopefully see what a difference it was going to make in people's lives. And, obviously adoption takes time, but particularly when talking about, financial change, but it is really cool that, we did this kind of incredible work together to sort of start making that happen. So I'm curious for you, as I sort of was saying, this is definitely a journey. It's not, you turn it on and everything's amazing. So what's maybe a favorite or difficult moment that you remember kind of as this has all been, standing up this partnership?
Yeah, for folks that are not familiar with MoneyGram, even though we operate in 200 plus countries, we're a company that's been built over the past 8 decades, right? And because of that, we've been able to build this tremendous network of assets across the globe. That's 430,000 plus locations, various digital endpoints, et cetera, et cetera. And the core of what we do today is enable assets or value to be moved from point A to point B, right? We allow for people to send money from themselves to somebody else. And it's usually from like the US to India or from the Middle East into the Philippines, et cetera, right? So there's all these corridors. We know that business really well, and when we look at it, the remittance corridors that we operate in, it's really key that what we do today, we're very familiar with it. We know how it operates, what makes it tick, what people need, and how we can service their need really well. Well, my favorite part about this is that with this project, Lauren, we were launching into a whole different kind of operation using digital asset, right? And I think it was so amazing to see a huge shout out to our product and dev teams who really took on this challenge and said, hey, we know how to operate in this remittance space today. We know what our customers need today, but we're going to, within the span of a couple of months or less than a couple of months, understand what this different customer needs. How do we create an experience that is very seamless to them, leveraging the same assets that we use today for remittance across the globe? I think seeing our teams like really rally around the challenge and then successfully deliver a product that meets that need using things that we have today I think that's something that I'll never forget.
Yeah, it's, again, as I was saying, just for me, this work has been so meaningful and really, for me, has crystallized something we talk about a lot at SDF in particular is utility, right? This is how we actually bring things that really make a difference to people and things people can use in a way they can understand them. I always use my parents as a metric of like, would this make sense to them? And, when you explain this partnership, they're like, oh yeah, okay, I get that. I understand how that would help me use and send money, right? And I think that actually for me is a good indicator of whether we're on the right track.
All right, so I've said numerous times, like I think even a few days ago, I made the example of, Stellar is literally going to be the one that is, the average Joe Schmo anywhere in the world, can use, when you first introduce the concept of cryptocurrency to somebody, are you really mentioning blockchain? Are you really mentioning DLT? You might, right? But I think the first sentence that comes out of your mouth is, hey, let me tell you about cryptocurrency. So the word currency, is hitting the person's ears literally, right? Like maybe your aunt, your uncle, whoever who doesn't know about some of this stuff. They're like, oh, I think I heard about Bitcoin, and that's about all they know. But anyway, the word currency, not necessarily cryptocurrency, is hitting their ears, and that ear is saying, to their head, like, oh, currency. okay, so I think this has been tried before, like a different form of payment. I'm going to use this stuff to buy groceries and stuff. Like literally what Lauren just mentioned here, like with one of her family members and so on. That's what I'm talking about. XLM is going to be the one that it will be literally used. It's going to be the worldwide retail currency, if you will. So we understand, they have there's also that bank money that's going to be there as well. It's big stuff, but if I'm legitimately going to give an example of cryptocurrency just to a person who just doesn't know what blockchain is about, or distributed ledger technologies, and or some of these other things, like when we talk about IoT, Internet of Things, or BSV, Internet of Value, or Quant, Internet of Trust, you're not going to mention all that stuff. You're not going to confuse these people that this just seems like it's Greek. But you know what? With Stellar, you can talk about some of these things to people, and I think it's easy to understand because they want you to give them a perfect example of, all right, well, can you give me an example about Stellar XLM? Okay, yeah, I can. There's this company that they're partnered with. It's called MoneyGram. Okay, what's that about? Well, it's a more efficient way to send money. Oh, that reminds me of Western Union. Yeah, okay, like Western Union, but like way more faster, way more efficient, for almost like virtually nothing on a fee. Game-changing things. I want to be invested in things like that. I am. Some of you guys are as well. So I guess you could say this is yet another day in regards to, having an update for MoneyGram. If you want to take more of your, personal deep dive or watch the rest of this video, I'm going to drop it into the comments right now. There it is. Comes straight from Stellar.org. So I'm going to stop the screen for a brief moment. I am going to, thank this guy who's patiently waiting since 8:07 p.m. His name is Great Oaks from Little Acorns. That's a great name. Thank you for your super chat. It is very much appreciated. I do try my best to get into the super chats as soon as I can, but if I have an outline going on and so on, sometimes I don't necessarily want to interrupt it. But I hope you don't take that the wrong way. I'm glad that you caught the live, like you said. You've been trying to find why everyone's bullish on QNT all of a sudden. Anyway, if you're already discussed it, no worries. I will show you just a quick little snippet, and I will actually just to a sense share two things once again that we shared earlier, because it's not super long, since you did donate the put in a super chat. So number one, I'm going to show you guys this, and if you're a latecomer like some other people, it's okay. So you could either watch it from the beginning or just see it right now, but here it is. So earlier I tweeted out, by the way, does anybody like the thumbnail? Hopefully you guys like the thumbnail. Yeah, you, me, and Clint Eastwood, Back to the Future style, right? Part 3. Anyway, sorry, had to get credit where credit's due. All right, so this right here, I was sick last night. Oh man, I wasn't feeling well, but I was just like, I saw the info about the breaking news for Quant about overledger to be released to the public, right? The main key thing is I had the full version of their video from the Quant network. And I guess that was a big no-no. I didn't know it was a big no-no. Somebody else leaked it out. How was I supposed to know? But anyway, apparently it got leaked out. A few other content creators were, messaged from Gilbert Verdian, Andrew Carrier, saying, look, their big announcement or a reveal, I guess, is on the 27th, like you guys are mentioning. So they don't want that full video to be out there. It's already been leaked. I already saw one other content creator kind of, put it out there. I think his name is like No BS Crypto. Nothing against him, right? He didn't pull up, like Quant Papa said, he didn't pull up the whole thing. Anyway, I did deep dive. So like it says, massive news, the birth of institutional adoption, overledger to go public. And it's huge. I'll just give you the quick little gist, and it's not going to be anything where, like, I don't think they're going to throw a fit over it. Nothing but respect to the Quant Army. I mean, I'm for the greater cause, greater good of this. So bottom line is this. There's some things that's shown in the video, like if you can easily make for instance, a ERC20 token contract to create a meme coin 27 seconds flat. How about institutions coming in and making something solid, like actually worthwhile, through Quant's overledger? Ease of access. Anyway, it gets into some of that. It gets into some of like a person from IBM. This has nothing, of course, to do with, you know, what they didn't want from the NDA, non-disclosure agreement. But I did more of a deeper dive into like IBM, and there was just some key things with the terminology that's used from Gilbert Verdi and some of the other guys from Quant consistently. And I was like, you know what? This same guy from IBM mentions literally the same type of vocabulary. So let's include it. It was interesting stuff. That's, you know, if you guys been following me, I do stuff like this, right? It's just who I am. So this was all tied in. I had a nice intro. I even had that, and I had to delist it. So all the fuss, you know, if you're wondering like, why is it trending so much? It's trending for a reason. Okay. So if Quant is, let me blow this up just a little more. Quant basically is, in many people's opinion, not just mine, the one that's gonna lead the way as far as not necessarily regulatory, you know, clarity, as far as, you know, like what Japan's doing with EFFT, but, you know, this is an operating system. You know, their focus is not on retail. When I get the green light where I can relist this, I mean, maybe it is the 27th, which would be only about 4 days ago from now. There might be other people that will already have dropped a bombshell by then, but I don't know. Maybe I can just put something like, hey, you know, this is re-released, but I still think it's going to be a good video to release to the public and so on. It goes into some of the detail, but yeah, my key thing is this is a product that's not focused on retail money. They've stated that, as in Gilbert Verdian and the team from Quant Network. And you literally can see this. I mean, for one, like my thumbnail, the birth of institutional adoption. Okay, how's that so? Right? If you give somebody a tool like the big institutions to come in and use this, and then through overledger, you know, like, you know, this example I'm going to show you here in a bit from Tokenizer, through overledger with this public release, being able to launch, you know, products and services through overledger for whatever project it is and so on, and have that utility kicked in where, you know, you have to purchase the QNT token for like an annual license. You have to have so many, I guess you could say, QNT credits. I mean, Tokenizer is going to break it down here in a bit in this 1 minute video, but it's just like, wow, you know, this is the birth of institutional adoption. I don't think that's an overstated thing, or like, you know, oh, Max is just trying to, you know, it's clickbait or anything like that. I think it's true. I think it's true 100%. And then like once more of that money comes in, I mean, how about this? I mean, you know, we talk about there's only a limited supply. So if we're putting so much emphasis, and we do, on like Ripple's XRP, like, you know, that's going to move a tremendous amount of money, right, for the central banks and so on, cross-border payments. All right. Same with like, you know, Stellar and so on. It has to have a high, stable store of value. All right. So a QNT, in my opinion, that's a tremendous tool that is literally, you know, not necessarily handed over to the institutions, but they have to pay, I should say a hefty amount, but I mean, when you see the minute video, which don't worry, I'm gonna get to it in a bit, it gives you a broader sense like, yeah, you know what? That mass adoption is going to happen. And you know what about these devs that, you know, this guy specialized in C#. I don't know if you're like a geek that knows some of this, you know, coding language. You know, this guy many years ago, before he learned about blockchain, specialized in C#, but now he's impressed with blockchain, or specialized in C++, you know, Python from years ago, whatever coding language. Okay. And for a lot of these devs, or the older generation, sorry to say, it's not too attractive to want to like be told that, yeah, you're going to have to learn a bunch of new coding language. What is attractive though is, you know what, you don't have to put so much focus on that. You can focus instead on your project. Well, how's that? Well, through, you know, You want to get this out there. You want to be able to scale. You want to be able to get your product, if you will, out to the masses. And what would typically, take, like, for instance, 18 months, because we have to get another blockchain involved, hence the term, Quant's overledger is blockchain agnostic. You no longer have to do that. It takes, as Gilbert Verdian would say, the friction out of the mix, right? This tremendously causes so many different devs to want to come into this. I still believe, for instance, in Luna Classic. I know this is kind of getting off kilter, but this is a good example. And one of the key things I mentioned with Luna Classic is, like, a lot of people point out, like, okay, burns. I said it for probably, I don't know, maybe how long? We're in the month of June, so we're almost into July. I think I said this at least since last November. I think the key to Luna Classic is to build up the ecosystem. Now, just hear me out on this for a second. So the key is to build out an ecosystem, is to draw devs to come build on your blockchain. Is it not? Right, it is. Well, with Quant's overledger, you have this product, this operating system, hence why I call it the Microsoft of crypto. Some people don't like me calling it because they're like, okay, so it's got a blue screen of death. No. But you have this operating system that, is going to incentivize devs from all over. So for one, it's like, again, I'll use this example. We need to bring the old devs that did great on Terra Luna back and have them build on that ecosystem, build it out again. But how would you like to be able to not only give the institutions a tool, right, through the likes of overledger, and then on top of that, have just a tremendous amount of devs from all sorts of different walks of life, all sorts of different projects from all over the world, for crying out loud, come in and build on this platform, whether it is for institutional money or whether it is for, AI, or whether it is for healthcare or countless other use cases. So in my opinion, and I'm going to go ahead and just say it right here, after this is fully released and after this is they're done coming out with it and so on, and we do see this birth of institutional adoption, it is through the likes of overledger, because you are allowing devs to have access to something that is not only beautiful and amazing and so on, but they want it to be easy to use. They want it to be something that's not, like Gilbert Verdi mentioned, 3 lines of code. He's able to back that up. If you saw this video, in which, of course, Tim Shea did see the video, I think Menelect also saw it as well. It gives you these little examples throughout the whole thing where, they deploy something, a different type of project and so on. And do you see, like, ERC20 being referenced? No, you're seeing QRC20 being referenced, right? For the same reason, Leo X was the original, project that was deployed through, was it on the Liechtenstein exchange, LCX, as being the first QRC20 token. That was significant because that right there was already giving you a hint of, like, things to come, right? That's why we pay attention. I'm not personally invested in the OX, but I think it's a good project. Some of you guys are. But again, that was the example of things to come. Now we're at the point where things have come. Things are here. And so they want to do a proper launch, I understand. I guess apparently on the 27th. And when is the 27th, guys? The 27th is Tuesday. So, I mean, if you think that this is big right now, Great Oaks, and thank you again for the super chat. Like you said, bullish on QNT. It's going to get even more bullish. I'm not just trying to say that because, oh, that sounds cool, and I'm just trying to extend the stream. I need to wrap things up. People need to go to bed, or, you got Friday night, you want to hang out with your wife, girlfriend, whatever, family, watch a movie, or do what the heck you want to do, right? You want to unwind a little bit. Maybe you are unwinding, just watching the show. But if you think it's bullish now, I hate to be the type of guy to do the buy the rumor, sell the quant, right? But in reality, the 27th, right? So if they stick to that date and there is no delays, is it enough to move the market? I don't know. I don't really think quant necessarily moves like that. You know what I mean? But I'm telling you guys flat out, yes, like I wanted to get in the Caspa. I'm not downplaying Caspa, but like when we make comments like, we're eventually going to get priced out of QNT. there's a lot of big things to support that, you know. So let's play this. This is just for you, my friend, my new friend, Great Oaks from Little Acorns. If you're still here, I don't know if you are. We're gonna play this thing from Tokenizer, and let me just pull his name up real quick and show it real quick again. It's just, again, it's only like 1 minute. It's not super long. Here it is. So let me just rewind this, and I'm gonna pull up the page. So where is that thing real quick? I'm so sorry. Here it is. All right, so he posted this 11:32 a.m. as in today, and like he mentions, you know, basically speaking, overledger platform now publicly accessible. A little bit more in regards to this. Huge news for QNT. It is, and multi-chain developers. Again, like I was talking about, like this is. It seems like it's massive news for us as in retail, because it's like, wow, something big is going to happen. But come on, man. If you can have ecosystems that you didn't even realize that we're going to start building on, you know, QNT, wow. I mean, are we going to talk about at some point in the future? I don't know about a year from now, but, you know, like if we're talking about 2025 being, you know, the time for like the biggest all-time highs for crypto, like insane market caps that we've never seen before. I'm just going to throw this out there, and I don't know if there is a type of guy who, you know, takes screenshots or records things that I say. I'm going to call it right now. I think in the future, way down the road, maybe 2 years or more from now, when we talk about which, you know, DLT project like Quant and so on, which blockchain or blockchain agnostic project has the biggest ecosystem. I understand that I think it's technically Ethereum, but how about getting ones that just have like the quality over the quantity? Because obviously Ethereum has the quantity. I think Quant is going to be at the head of the pack when it comes to all of it. So yeah, it is huge news. We can now see some functions of QNT token and its role. I'm going to keep you waiting. We're going to go ahead and play it. But yeah, first time annual sub, 229.57 QNT. I don't have that much. I would love to have, you know, even 100 QNT. I eventually, that, you know, would love to get to that. I think I saw Selma Fudge, shout out to you if you're still here. You said that's one of your goals. You know, 10,000 annual subs equals 2.29 million QNT. Think about it for a second. Institutional money paying for this stuff. Multiply that by, I don't know, man, like 100+ projects, thousands of projects, or you know, just one big BlackRock coming in, or, you know, like we talk about whale investors, whale institutions. I'm gonna stop talking about this. I mean, I always get excited when I talk about Quant. This is from Tokenizer, and he does a great job explaining it. So let's play this. Here we go.
Quant Network has officially opened their core solution Overledger to the public. The best part is we can now see the utility of the QNT token. And the first thing we notice is, of course, the clean layout on the dashboard. Right away, you can see your credits and how much you have available to use. Then there's the news section right below showing the recent news and updates within the Quant ecosystem. And here you can choose to deploy specific tokens under the QRC20 or QRC721 standards, or dApps on the Polygon or Avalanche testnet. But if you'd like to upgrade into an official Overledger license, there's multiple service packages you can choose from depending on the scale of your needs. You can choose to pay as you go or an annual subscription, while also choosing to pay in QNT or fiat. But if you understand the QNT token, you'd realize everything gets converted to QNT in the end. And just based on these prices for the services and the QNT amounts, we can see with 10,000 subscriptions to the lowest tier plan, that'll equal 15% of the total QNT supply. Quant Network has officially opened their core solution Overledger to the public. The best part is we can now
All right, let me I'll pull that screen back up actually. Hold on a second. I'm gonna pause it in some key areas. So like right here, you know, he says, for instance, hold on, let me play this for a second.
And the first thing we notice is, of course, the clean layout on the dashboard. Right away, you can see your credits and how much you have available to you.
Right, like he's talking about the credits, and again, it's more of like a reference back to this right here, the first time annual sub, you know, the 229.57 QNT. And then, you know, let's face it, there's limited QNT. I mean, what are we like in circulation, like 12 million something? the full supply is like 14.88 million. I mean, significantly less than BTC. But I don't know. I mean, I'm just saying, I mean, can you imagine just, the thing goes public, more and more institutions come into it, they use it. I just think it's obviously a big deal. And that's obviously why it's trending so much. And it's going to continue to trend. Things that were considered speculative are no longer speculative. All right. But yeah, thank you again. I don't even know if you're here. You probably might have left. Maybe you're frustrated. Like, man, this Max guy will never get to my super chat. So I'm sorry about that. If you discuss this, okay, I did read that a while back. Quant equals freedom. There's going to be some people they're going to state, and thank you for being here, Herbert Ferguson. Consider change your avatar. Something speaks more about who you are and what you're about. If you're still here, I've seen many people say that, I don't want to get invested into Quant because of the CBDCs and so on. I know a lot of you guys watch Richard Common Sense Crypto. I think he's right about this, right? So, I hate to use this analogy, but I mean, to a sense, it's a good analogy, right? So the way I look at, like, owning a firearm, right? It's just like, back to the Shane reference, it's placing a gun in a person's hands is only as good or as bad as the person holding it. You know what I mean? It's just like the weapon itself isn't evil. Okay. It's just, you can look at, like, for instance, certain blockchain projects or, distributed ledger technologies. Yes, they're tied into some CBDCs, but Dyor With has mentioned, and like, if this is, or also, Rich used this example, if put in the right hands, it could do a lot of good, right? And that's the key thing. And so, like, if we're going to talk about regulations, which obviously is a big thing, and the institutional money coming in, well, I mean, I understand, like, there's going to be bans in certain states about the CBDCs and so on. Maybe this never happens here, but if we talk about, like, for instance, in Congress having, legislation on certain things that are, common sense legislative laws or things like that, then in the future, with proper regulation, we have to have common sense, I hate to say it, this sounds like a pun, common sense crypto regulations that simply make sense to, not have things put into the place of one person or a conglomerate group of people to, infringe on our rights. I would agree with that. Like, nobody wants our rights taken away from us, or where it's all about control, or, this ends up being 1984, right? Like my friend on Facebook, I don't really use Facebook much anymore, but he has this banner that reads "Make Orwell Fiction Again." It's like, yeah, George Orwell. It's like, that book 1984, Big Brother and all that. It's like, we don't want the concept of Big Brother becoming true here in the United States or all across the world through the likes of CBDC. But, with what Gilbert Verdi has mentioned, with the concept of what Quant is trying to solve, it's like, yeah, I mean, if it could get put in the hands of, like, the good players, if you will, and maybe that's what it's going to take. It just takes, great regulations to properly be put into place, and we'll have to see how it pans out. But I mean, there's a lot of bullish things here on the near horizon, across the board, and that's why we point out a lot of these things. We're almost approaching the 3-hour mark. I am going to stop the screen. I'm just going to read a few more comments and then we'll wrap up the show finally. Some people consider this WrestleMania at 3 hours or something. I don't really consider it quite. For me, WrestleMania is like 3.5 to 5 hours or more. Then that's WrestleMania. But to each his own. Thank you, Blackwood, for saying that. Menace, you guys should pay attention when the teacher talks. Might learn something. When did you post it? 8:10? That was a while ago. Well, thank you, Menace. Do appreciate that. Excellent, JASMY on Coinbase, excuse me. Great Oaks from Little Acorns. Thanks. It's my favorite project. You only got 48 though. I'm heavy in HBAR. You got 48 Quant. I think that's what you mean. I mean, why would you have 48 JASMY or 48 XLM? Crypto Jedi, if you're still here, like the other day where you're like, I got 10 Nixera, and I'm like, all right, well, congratulations. Like, hey man, I got some crypto dust. I got some Nixera dust. Anyway. All right. I'll put up another banner. There we go. So let's see where we're at in the comments. 817 or whatever it is. All right. Where can I buy crypto without KYC? I'm gonna say Mexi, KuCoin. Unless you're like looking to like cash out or withdrawal, then you're gonna get KYC. Literally like what I just said. Yeah, Coochie Boy's ahead of it. All right. Thumbs up. Thank you. All right, let's go further down. Cash Cats with the wonderful Ron Paul says you should be able to cash out, but only a small amount, at least. Okay, you have a conversation. XLM kicks Royal Gluteus Maximus. Kicks Royal Me. I am the Gluteus Maximus. Hello. Get to the shopper. Governor of California from the ghost. All right, it's getting goofy now. I know. All right. Simon Greco's here. Hi, Max. Great to finally get on a live show. We're at 8:27. So you missed most of it, and that's okay. Simon, it is awesome to have you here, man. Thank you. Appreciate that. I believe you're down under or very, far away, right? Many hours ahead. The ghost says, Max, can you do the Arby's guy? We have the meats. I only eat fish and chicken, but chicken butt. Reminds me when I was a kid, when your friend would say, "What's up?" Chicken butt, or what was it? I don't know, being silly. Anyway, the Arby's guys. Let me think about that. I sound like that guy. I don't know how I could sound like that guy. I can't really do that voice, but I'll try. All right, let's see what we can do. Welcome to Crypto Talk Now. We have the meats. I don't know, or Arby's. We have the meats. It just doesn't sound that great. You gotta like change it up, something like Hello and welcome. As with you always, this is Max doing another video today on XRP. Now let's talk about chicken butt or something. I don't know. It's not making no sense. It's just not. It just doesn't even sound good. It just sounds dumb. Anyway, I tried. You were thinking about getting you an Arby t-shirt for what the hell, man? Wait, I just appear as though I don't. Hey, guess what? I don't know where you're from again. I don't know. Maybe you're from down under, maybe no offense to some of the guys down there. And, if I don't do a great voice on this, just don't shoot me. This is funny. This is funny stuff from the ghost, right? It's a little bit delayed, but it's just like, I was thinking about getting you an Arby's t-shirt for Christmas, mate. But I better get the JASMY shirt for you. And for some bloody reason, when I come on here, I see Maximus and I think to myself, that little son of a gun. He looks like the damn Arby's guy. He's going to slap some meat on the grill. Well, guess what? No, I'm not slapping no meat on nobody's grill. But I see what you're saying. But I remind you of an Arby's guy. My God. That's funny stuff. All right. The ghosts will do Oracle. JASMY mug. All right. Well, I'm thankful for him. I mean, I'll wear. Hey, man, I could take a new Arby's shirt. I like Arby's. Last time I went there, though, don't get the what's it called? The Arby's Americana, the 2 for $7. It's just it's okay. It's not great though. It's just I don't know. It's just not that great. All right, BSV popping off right now. Yeah. Let's see what we have with BSV. Yeah, 27%. Bitcoin Cash also 40%, but obviously for long-term play, we were more psyched about BSV. It's cool stuff. Very, very cool. We can go ahead and share that as I'm getting through the last bit of the comments. You're never going to end the show, Max. All you want to talk about is, Arby's having the meats. Well, I'm not the one who started, man. It was the ghost, I don't know what it is about this Maximus. I mean, he wears that Filipino ice cube hat, and it's just something about Arby's. They got the meats, mate. Forget the 247, mate. Arby's. They got the meats. It's the cool cat crypto. He's got the meats, mate. All right. Yeah, cats, cats like fish. They like meat. They like everything, I think. All right, yes, dang, missed that 24. Yeah. I mean, it was not quite 24 even, but I get what you're saying. I got it for under 25. I was glad. Blackwood says, hey, mate, wish I knew about Q&T sooner. Have 21, but not sure how much DCA time is left before a major pump. 133,000 XLM. My cousin has not too bad, I guess. I gotta stop doing that voice. All right. XXI Gaming agrees. Agrees with what? I have to get some clarification on that. Welcome to the one, the only, the king of Madden, who will whoop your tail side up into oblivion and make you relax and take notes. The one, the only XXI Gaming. What up, man? Glad to see you. You should do like a sports show or something sometime, man. All right. Crypto Smooth states, I'm trying to load up on Q&T and XRP now. Which one is going to be popping? Well, don't load up on while they're popping because I'll be buying on green candles. So I buy the one that isn't popping and go from there. Not financial advice. Welcome to Crypto Oracle. P Nice. MC P Nice up in the house. Yo, could we pull up an XLM chart and let's talk about how amazing Stellar is? Well, we did talk about how amazing it was. We can pull something up. Just for a brief moment. And words of wisdom for the day is do not eat breakfast on a stick that's been sitting in your lunch sack for like 6 hours straight and then bring it home 3 hours later. So 9 hours later, that was gifted to you from one of your beloved students, and then decide, oh, this is a great snack to eat before you go on a live stream. Bad things will happen. All right. So stellar lumens. Yes, here we go. 0.09, up 16.50%. I'll just keep on that one. I mean, I'm not going to take too much of a deep dive right now because, we are wrapping up the show. Crypto John, great stream, Max. Thank you, Mr. Crypto John. Looking sharp as usual. This LCX ride was nice to see. All right, let's see what's going on with LCX too. Why not? Well, you just showed me some Stellar, Max. What the hell? I know, but we gotta give some LCX some love. Some smooth love potion. Not really. I know that kind of sounded weird. Oh yeah, how about that, guys? LCX Z Liechtenstein exchange is up to 0.06415. On the 1 hour charts, 6.38%. On the 24 hour chart, Guten Tag, 21.53%. And on the 7-day chart, approaching the 29%, up on the 7-day chart. Official recognized crypto from the World Economic Forum. Are you still with me, Crypto John? You're probably like, what the heck, Max? All right, let's go further down. All right, Crypto Smooth. QNT, XRP, XLM, JASMY. So many good ones. Yes, those are 4 out of the 5 of my top 5. Can anybody else here name the 5th one that's part of my top 5 of these ones that were just listed right here? I will give you absolutely nothing, as Larry would say. Oh, there's a super chat that came in. All right, hold on. I revisit. I vote 5+ hour long content with potential intermissions for you to take a break. I'm not doing that tonight, man. I got to make a JASMY video, but I do appreciate it. Oh, Max, you know, you have the time to do it. You know, you want to do it. You know, you don't have girlfriend anymore. She dumped your ass, you know, a month ago. You can do this. Well, for one, she didn't dump me. It was a breakup, and it was the second time. And with that said, we're still friends. I have nothing against her, you know. But just because I have this extra time doesn't mean I can allocate it to the way I want to allocate it. I still got to, you know, take care of my dad. All right. Crypto McDizzle for shizzle manizzle for show. He says 99-cent super stacker. Thank you so much from the one, the only Mike Cornwell, aka Elon Muff. Thank you. River, always a pleasure to watch, Max. Thanks for the lowdown. You're very, very welcome. What else we got up in here? GS says Coochie Boys, so many discounts. I didn't get BSV at 24, but I did. I'm kidding. That sounds bad. But others on my list 40 is still good. Yeah. I know. That was bad. I'm sorry. I apologize. All right. Larry's up in here? I guess he is. Oh, surprise. He must be really relaxed, you know, Mr. Ooh, Larry. I mean, it's going to be an interesting show what we'll have tomorrow. You know, look, I want to state this, right? So for some people that want to FUD my fellow brother, Larry, and, you know, who is this guy? What's that guy? Scott Hill. I mean, I saw some good comments from Scott Hill and recorded. So, you know, if he's listening, Scott, I mean, we do appreciate you, but, you know, like, you got to keep in mind, Larry's show is never going to be my show. Okay. No disrespect to Larry. Larry's his own guy. Okay. If he wants to come on here and read 100 cryptos for whatever reason, one by one, and you're going to criticize him that like anybody can do that. I mean, yeah, anybody can do that, but can anybody come on camera? Well, I guess anybody could come on camera, but anyway, I mean, like, you know, can anybody just, you know, talk about like random stuff about the Ukraine? I mean, I guess anybody could do that too. But, you know, I mean, you know, can anybody come on here and like, you know, have leggy internet? Well, they could be on the P Hub. So there is that. But I mean, my point is like, I mean, can anybody just, you know, do the things that he does? Well, a little bit. But I mean, he brings, you know, some originality to the whole thing. That is true. Shout out to Larry. Stay tuned tomorrow for some Crypto Talk Now live with the one and only Larry, the originator of this channel, this show, coming live from North Carolina, born and raised. No, he wasn't. And no, he didn't spend most of his time in the playground, spending most of his days. All right. His pay. I don't want about that. All right. Oh, nice. Okay. You got to say, a dingo out of me. Hold on. A dingo out of me, baby, in an Aussie accent. Oh, dingo out of me, baby. Good day, mate. Welcome to Crypto Talk Now. A dingo out of me, baby. You want to throw a little more shrimp on the barbie and slap some meat on the grill? Then come on over to the guy from the Sugar Hill. He might talk like this really late at night, but he's part of the Quant army and he feels all right. Yesterday's show, he was about to barf, but he represents the community as he flies through the air with his bloody scarf. His name is Max of the DPG, and he's been doing his damn thing since 1993. Tune in to the show that is the best. He might just show you the slug of his Smith & West. His P looks ill because he's the best. All hail the Max, the one and only, who isn't like Larry with the hairy chest. I didn't know Max could rhyme and flow. I thought his show was the way to go. Crypto Talk Now is the place to be. What happened to Larry's show at 3:30 p.m. EST? Anyway, I'm gonna stop doing that. All right, that was weird. Anyway, XXI, thanks to Max and Larry, I'll be a millionaire in 2024. Not financial advice. And he's saying 100%. Way to go. damn, that's what I sound like. No, that's not what you sound. I mean, I don't know what you sound like. All I know is you got this dog on the screen, and I mean, in reality, I don't even know. It's just like, Ezekiel 25:17, the path of the blackwood is beset by all sides and iniquities of evil. No, I mean, you don't even sound like that. I don't even know why I'm saying that. Anyway, weird stuff. It has nothing to do with crypto. All right, there goes. Good night, Max. Great show. Not from an Aussie, but have been to Sydney. Okay, I don't even know where you're at. I don't know why I thought you were. Aussie women are too high maintenance, Max. Oh, I'm good. I'll avoid that then. I don't want any of that for sure, or any more of that. Never mind. Hopefully she's not watching. Patrick Collier. It's WrestleMania, baby. Now, yeah, it's starting to be. I got to wrap this up. Hey, mate, Aussie, you gonna steal cold women's Sheilas? Oh, yeah, that reminds me of Crocodile Dundee. Yeah, that's interesting. All right, you guys talking about H-bar. Most of the U goes Taranga. Interesting stuff. Glad to hold on. Be glad you're a free man, Max. Yes, I am glad. Yeah. I love to fish, Max. Tag and release over here. Oh, that sounds cool. Yeah, man. Totally. The Opera House. Sydney is a great place to visit. That's about it. I have a friend that lives in Melbourne. Anyway. Let's see. You guys are laughing. I wasn't there since 1980. I was 7 years old in 1988. Anyway. Max is funny. Lamo. No, 1987, I think. I was 6 years old in 1987. I lost change. I imagine lost change since 1987. I mean, come on. The end of the Reagan administration or towards it. Not many guys named Larry reading the top 100 cryptos. How about this, Larry? Not many people reading the top 100 cryptos. How about that? All right, sorry. I had to say that. Larry will be live at 8 p.m. Central from North Carolina. He'll be taking his shirt off and swinging around his head. Like, what are you, Petey Pablo? They will be live at 8 p.m. Central from North Carolina. He will be taking his shirt off, waving around his head like a helicopter. Crypto John, if you're still here, take your shirt off, wave it around your head like a helicopter. Michael, well, if you're down here, take your dang hat off. You don't have one, but it's okay. Wave it around like a helicopter. Whatever happened to PD Pablo? Yeah, I know. I'm going crazy. 1 hour straight. Yeah. You know what? Larry gets. Here's the thing. I get criticized if I do this for 10 minutes, right? Oh, Max is supposed to be serious all the time. Larry comes on. It's like 95% of his show is basically what I'm doing right now, right? 5% crypto. But I can't do that. No, Max, I'm here for all the serious stuff. Well, I'm sorry, Mr. Hill, Scott Hill, or whoever. That's just the way it is. I don't know what to say. All right, I gotta say it the right way, right? A dingo ate up my baby. A dingo ate my baby. If the baby looks at you wrong, tell that baby, slap your mama, you bloody. Never mind. All right, Edward, that is funny. All right, are we ever gonna get to the bottom of the comments? Let's see. You can't say I didn't do it though. Tag and release if you can. That's what you would have done, my friend. But you do it in the form of women. I just said it. It's all right. Don't get butthurt. Contact Brian Dowie if you don't want to be butthurt. All right. Shout out to Brian Dowie. All right. Yeah, no, it's getting kind of crazy, isn't it, Crypto John? It is. If you're still here. Uncle Ricky, he's here? Where? You got to tell me to get off the lawn? Hey, get off my damn lawn. Yeah, damn DPG Maximus. Sure, he's coming over here on the 2-bit crypto channel, trying to promote his crypto talk now. And that damn Larry, Uncle Ricky, can you take me to school? Hey, when I was your age, I had to walk to school. Shut up and sit down. I said no. All right. That song was jumping back in Atlanta, Georgia. Or North Carolina, right? North Carolina, that's gonna be stuck in everybody's song, or everybody's song. That song's gonna be stuck in everybody's head going to bed. You know, it's like your girlfriend, your wife. Honey, why can't you go to bed? I can't. Why not? And you got the stupid P.D. Pablo song stuck in me. Well, can't you just shut it off? I can't do it. Well, fine. I'll play the song that will make you not think about that anymore. Oh, yeah? What song are you going to play? I'm going to play it peanut butter to the time, peanut butter to the time. We no, I know. It's just now that's stuck in her head, right? PD Pablo. Yeah, it's getting crazy. The show has gone off the kilter. Crikey, Max. No, say that, Max. Crikey. To everybody's out there, there was some great big news in regards to Quant overledger. If you're just tuning in right now, I have some breaking news. There was something released by the Overledger Foundation. Now, they may not be referred to as the Overledger Foundation, but I want to bloody tell you this, and that is this. I am not the bloody freaking Filipino Ice Cube. In fact, I don't even sound like a damn Filipino at this point. But one thing I will tell you is this. If you are a bold, brave human being, you're going to try a thing in the Philippines if you ever visit there. It's called balut. And anyways, balut, you're going to take the bloody chick, and it's going to be about halfway born. It's a freaking bloody embryo. And then you're going to see it, and you're going to believe it. And you're going to say to yourself, Filipino balut. These bloody Filipinos tell me all the bloody time that this is the most delicious bloody thing since sliced bread casserole. And with that said, you take the balut, which is an ugly-looking embryo, and you have to shit in the bloody dark in the corner with all the lights off. Then you look to the left, you look to the right, and you say, I'm going live like Bill Wanda. And you take it, and you put it in your bloody mouth, and you feel a little bit of hairiness sensation, the texture. You try to ignore it. You bite the chick's head off. Then you start digesting it. But next thing you know, it tastes a little gooey. Then you get to the meaty part. And this is what I bloody heard from other people out there from the Filipino community, that balut is the most delicious thing in the world. But guess what? I am never going to eat freaking balut. To the exception of $10,000 tax-free, which I will convert to QNT token. All right. Max, don't ever change. Yes, I will never change. Thank you, Crypto John. Max, do Mr. Magoo tomorrow. How am I going to do Mr. Magoo? And it won't be tomorrow because Larry's going to be on the show. Mr. Magoo, the guy from Rocky and Bullwinkle. Was he on Rocky and Bullwinkle? He was always blind, always bumping into stuff. Yeah, that would be weird. You know, I should probably, change my outfit. And then, my friend's wife actually is a professional makeup artist. I should be like, hey, can you make me look like a really old man and come on in here and be like, hello, ladies and gentlemen. As with you always, this is Rich. Do another video today on XRP. Now, I want to go ahead and start with this and welcome everybody in this great, great world. Bank of International Settlements. Mr. Augustine looks like he went to the International Bank of International Pancakes for one too many pancakes and some syrup. Back to you, Larry. And then Larry's not there. He's in the chair. It's empty. He went to go visit with some hot, Ukrainian woman or something. I don't know. Man, I need an Aussie woman I dated 1 year ago. You're only stating this. See, here's the thing I know about Larry, right? I love Larry. He's a good guy. But if he's talking like this means he struck out. And I don't mean no disrespect. All right. R.I.P. Yeah, I mean, we knew eventually. Here's the thing. We're all guilty of it. Let's be honest about this. For people back in the day, we're all guilty of the same thing. And that is, I want to see this guy get bit. Right? Don't even deny it. It's the truth. You know that you watched Crocodile Hunter back in the day. And you're like, I'm only watching this damn thing because this guy, Steve Irwin, he's going to get bit eventually, and I want to watch it. And then finally, not only did he get bit, he got stung by a freaking stingray, and then he died, and we were all sorry. And we're like, man, that's messed up. That was totally messed up, right? But it's reality. We all did it. We all did it. Just like when we're little kids. Do we all watch Inspector Gadget? Because we're like, oh, man, Inspector Gadget's the most amazing thing since sliced bread. It was pretty amazing, right? You know, I like the idea that Inspector Gadget's going all sorts of places in the world. But what is the real reason why we watched Inspector Gadget? We watched Inspector Gadget because we were led to believe that if we kept watching Inspector Gadget, that we would finally see Dr. Claw's face. And did we ever see Dr. Claw's face? Oh, no, never. When they finally wrapped up Inspector Gadget, it still never showed his face. The closest thing we ever saw in regards to his face was the side of him, and he's like a box with arms sitting on his, crazy looking leather chair, controlling the world, Then finally, in the mid 1990s, they came out with a Dr. Claw action figure, and it was just like, wow, this is just like, I thought it was going to be the most amazing thing. I'm going to finally see Dr. Claw when he looks like. And it's just like, that was all the hype. That is Dr. Claw. I mean, it was just underwhelming. Disappointment. Anyway. Yes, rest in peace, Croc Hunt. Man, but his daughter, Bindi Irwin. I know I shouldn't say this, but man, I'm 42, but man, I gotta admit, she's definitely got it going on. Like, man, she's been blessed. All right. Balut. No. Yeah, you know what Balut is. No, thank you, man. No. I don't care if you are in Australia and you got a hot Filipino wife that, is a few countries away up north, I want to sit here, like, on my wonderful Filipino lady, and I'm going to sit in the corner and I'm going to turn off all the lights and I'm going to butt into the head of this chick and I'm going to eat some balut. No, nobody's going to do that. Although, shout out to Rafael Santos, he loves it. So, you're thinking of Asian or Australian women, you're bored. Oh, you're bored. Okay, well, if that's the case, go chop up some videos for me, my friend, because I could use some help. I know, I'm kidding. All right. Hey, yo, Adrian, do you think JASMY hits 0.007 again soon? I don't know about how super soon. Like we just got back into the fours. If we still get bullish momentum, I would say yes. As far as that happening like next week, no. It's going to take some time to get to that. But I mean, how soon do you consider soon? Like maybe possibly in a month. I think that could happen. But we continue this momentum. As long as the Fed pause stays paused, and there's no hints of, as Larry would say, the old man coming out of the cave, aka, Jerome Powell, oh, hey, we're going to meet to, raise basis points again. We got some bad information. That definitely, in my opinion, can happen. Yeah. All right, Ghosts. I had dated one Aussie woman. She lived in Japan, though. If you guys are wondering why I'm reading every single comment and not doing crypto news, this is my impersonation of Larry. Somebody asked me, can you do impersonation of Larry? This is my impersonation of Larry. Sorry, Larry. All right, April Cornwell. I am about to deep dive into some Elon Musk Inu. Well, you know what? I mean, there's nothing wrong with that. You guys are married. You're married. This is to be expected. I mean, should I judge? No, that's awesome. Hey, more power to you. I mean, you guys are a good-looking couple. It's to be expected. Why act like this is all taboo? It should be taboo. It's natural, and especially if you're married. Hey, this is to be expected. Have a happy marriage. All right. Problem with Aussie women, they're like a box of chocolates. What, you never know what you're gonna get? The Ghost, she had a set of milkers. Oh boy. All right, Blackwood says, my eggs come with yolk and albumin. What the heck is that? Not a fully formed fetus. And you got the barf avatar smiley. Like this was, if you missed the show last night, that smiley of Blackwoods was literally me at the end of the last show. Yeah, it was bad. Yeah. Actually, the late Jim Backus did Mr. Magoo. Huh. You love it, Mr. Larry? That's funny. Hey, yo, Adrian. Going 60. God was 11. I can't really do Stallone. I wish I could do Stallone. I could kind of do like a Schwarzenegger, Like what can I say? Oh, guys, I got a horrible headache. oh, it's so horrible, freaking dairy, you know. Maybe it's a tumor. It's not a tumor, you know, something like that. I don't know. All right, Lana is sleeping over Saturday night, baby. Oh, nice. Well, that's good, you know. I mean, be happy, you know. Do what you got to do. No, that's you, man. I don't do that. This is the most off kilter I ever go. Max, do an Australian woman? What do you mean by that? I mean, I would like to, I guess. I mean, I never been with one, but I mean, I guess if the opportunity arises, I mean, I don't know. That'd be kind of weird. Yeah. Anyway. Oh, do an Australian woman's voice. Oh, my bad. I don't know how that would sound. Albumin is the name of the egg white. Oh. All right, so let me go back to what you said then. What did you say? Now I missed what you said. All right, I get what you're saying. All right, the show is finally coming to an end. It ended up being WrestleMania. It did. But that's okay. I was glad to spend some extra time with you guys and read some comments. And you know what? We have a great community here. Please give the one and only, and I'll give him a plug real quick because he did show up to our channel, and you know it's the right thing to do. I like listening to his videos too. All right, let's see here. Give this guy a follow. Handsome young man, no homo, right? Who is the one and only Crypto John. Okay. He hit a milestone not that long ago. He's almost about to go to a new milestone, 21,700 subscribers, almost up to 22,000. That's pretty big. Nice looking lineup. You know, some people said to me, Max, you should do the lineup, but I have done the lineup before, but maybe when, you know, I become, make my mind up to be more fit at some point again, maybe I'll do that look again. But looks good on you, man. And one of his latest videos is a few of them. Warning to all altcoin investors, do not be fooled. It's only 8 minutes and 12 seconds. I might have to check that out myself, right? He's got Caspa there. That's the only one I don't hold of those, right? I hold all those. I hold ADA, Quant, HBAR, Algo. Don't hold Caspa yet, but I do believe in it. And it's one that's on my short list. Another one he did 9 hours ago. To all Hedera HBAR holders, this will send it to top 10. That sounds interesting. I want to check that out as well. But yeah, man, I mean, look at this, man. He's killing it. You know, 8,800 views on, you know, if you're still holding Cardano. We were talking about Arnold Schwarzenegger earlier. I mean, you know, Crypto John, you know, you're looking very good. You get to the shop, you know, check out Crypto John's channel. He pumps up high. And if you're still holding Cardano, you need to prepare for the next bull run. XRP, Algo, you know, on fire, Casper, you know, I don't know. But anyway, here's what's popular on here. A month ago, it says he bought 10,000 more Stellar XLM because of this. 31,000 views. My God, congratulations on that. Top 10 altcoins to buy in 2023. Buy and hold. That's cool. So, I mean, I should do like a top 10 video or ones to buy or something. I don't really do that type of format, but maybe I could take some notes from Crypto John. Man, you're killing it, man. Like some of these are not that long ago. Algo HBAR, 18,000 views 4 weeks ago. 7,000 Algorand versus 20,000 HBAR if you only had $1,000. I like this. This is cool, man. He does some scenarios, right? And look at that, man. You got a nice looking home, man. I mean, that kitchen looks really cool. I like the tile in the back. Pretty cool countertops. Nice place you got there, man. All right. But yeah, give Crypto John a follow. I know a lot of you guys already are. I actually do listen to your content. I don't want to sound like, oh, Max is just saying that. He's trying to be nice. I actually do listen to your content. Like I'll take my phone, like especially if I'm eating like a sandwich or something like that. I'll be at the dinner table, and then I'm like, oh, there's a new video from Crypto John, and I'll watch it. And you know, I always appreciate your perspective. Most of the videos I watch, you're either in the woods or you're in their car. But you come across as a very nice guy, man, and that's my thing. I mean, people that act like hotshot know-it-alls and stuff like that, you don't come across that way at all. You come across humble, nice, and knowledgeable, man. Big time. So, you know, we're more than thankful that you even take the time to stop by over here. And, you know, nothing but well wishes to you, John. I really mean that. On a serious note, I really, really mean that. So, boom. There's a dab to you. I will finally wrap things up here, reading just a couple more comments. Brittany's like, man, I'm out of here. Good night. Well, good night to Brittany. And let's see here. Black was saying good night to all of us, including Crypto John, Larry, myself. Crypto John says, you're the man, Max. Always appreciate you. You too, man. Thank you. Thank you very much. You're in the woods last night in the last video. All right, cool. Yeah, got to get to the chopper. Subscribe to Crypto John. Do it now. Blackwood, I love the deepfake Arnold videos. Later, y'all. Have a good one, Maxi. Likewise, always watching your content too. All right, I gotta stop doing these stupid, crazy voices. All right, it's been a good show. Hopefully, you guys got some good, knowledgeable stuff, right? Until we got to the crazy part. But know what you have, or how does it say? I forgot how I said it. Know what you hold, know why you hold it. The research trumps FUD 110%. So we'll pay attention to what happens tomorrow. Larry will be back for the weekend, starting tomorrow, 9 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Pacific. Will he bring you a jam-packed, punched like news updates and stuff, or will it be, dating advice from Ukraine? We'll find out. But you have to tune in tomorrow, 9 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Pacific, for more Crypto Talk Now. And with that said, here comes the outro here in a bit. No Vaseline in the M16, because you got to be like Crypto John, and feed your body some pumped up creatine. My favorite jewel is diamond. My favorite color is green. Piss green and smoke Louis the 13th. Boy! All right, I'm out. I think.
Thank you.